protecting citizens of the world. President Trump is planning to carry out a series of arrests of deep state traitors, including Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, James Comey, and Barack Obama. According to a number of government documents from the U.S. Federal Register, Trump will declare temporary martial law in order to fulfill his promise of draining the D.C. swamp. Infowars.com reports, the confirmation of Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court is the key to getting this done in a timely manner, which explains why the deranged left is going to such outrageous extreme fabricate false allegations against Kavanaugh and stage coordinated, well-funded protests to try to block the U.S. Senate from confirming him. Once Kavanaugh is on the court, it will add the necessary support for constitutional emergency powers that concentrate power in the executive branch of government, currently headed by President Trump, during times of war and national emergencies. Fact: the United States has been operating under a state of declared war since September 2001, following the 9/11 attacks. Fact: the United States has been operating under a declared national emergency, signed by President Trump, since December 20, 2017. See proof document below. In this detailed video analysis, I lay out the evidence for President Trump's plan to issue mass arrests of deep state traitors, then try them for treason under military tribunals. This is justified and lawful because the acts being committed against the United States of America by deep state traitors are acts of treason during a time of declared war. It is no coincidence that President Trump has deliberately funded the U.S. Pentagon with its most massive budgets ever conceived. This is because the Pentagon has agreed to run the military arrests of deep state traitors, under the direction of the Commander-in-Chief, President Trump. President Trump, I believe, has decided to go to bat for America and utterly destroy the anti-American deep state crime ring that has been working for years to destroy this nation and end its national sovereignty. This will be Trump's legacy. He may not even run for re-election after 2020, since his entire plan to arrest the traitors and restore the rule of law in America will require him to step aside once certain goals are accomplished. See detailed explanation below. Note that in order to accomplish this, President Trump will need to declare temporary martial law. He will need our support during this time to maintain order and civility across the nation as the arrests and trials of deep state traitors are underway. We should all expect mass violence and chaos from the left, which is following the rules for radicals, a blueprint for communist revolts and violent overthrow attempts of governments. See the documents for yourself. This is all posted on the U.S. Federal Register government website. Here are the links to the documents cited in this comprehensive video. Document number 1, Executive Order 13,818, signed December 20, 2017, blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption. This document specifically describes the crimes of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, James Comey and Robert Mueller under the corruption section, alluding to the Uranium One scandal and Obama's multi-billion-dollar money laundering operation that handed nuclear weapons capabilities to Iran. It says that the executive order targets any foreign person determined by the Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with the Secretary of State and the Attorney General, to be a current or former government official, or a person acting for or on behalf of such an official, who is responsible for or complicit in, or has directly or indirectly engaged in, corruption, including the misappropriation of state assets, the expropriation of private assets for personal gain, corruption related to government contracts or the extraction of natural resources, or bribery. This describes precisely what Clinton, Comey, Mueller, Obama, Brennan, McCabe and others carried out under the Obama regime. These are more than just felony federal crimes. They are acts of treason against the United States of America, carried out during a time of declared war. From that document, here is President Trump's declared national emergency. I therefore determine that serious human rights abuse and corruption around the world constitute an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States, and I hereby declare national emergency to deal with that threat. Document number 2, Executive Order 13,618, Signed July 6, 2012 by President Obama. Assignment of National Security and Emergency Preparedness Communications Functions. This executive order grants the President absolute control over all U.S. media, including internet tech giants, social media, news networks and news websites. It specifically names communications that support continuity of government, federal, state, local, territorial, and tribal emergency preparedness and response communications, non-military executive branch communications systems, critical infrastructure protection networks, and non-military communications networks, particularly with respect to prioritization and restoration. Document number 3, Executive Order 13,825, signed March 1, 2018. 2018 Amendments to the Manual for Courts-Martial, United States. Although much more difficult to read, this document essentially establishes the preservation of the government's right to prosecute crimes of treason and deep state collusion against America, all of which may be prosecuted via military tribunals under existing U.S. law. This would allow deep state traitors to be arrested by military police and subjected to military trials run by the Pentagon, completely bypassing the corrupt court system which has been deliberately stacked with complicit deep state traitors and resistance judges. To accomplish this, President Trump must announce temporary martial law. For the record, I wholly support this effort to arrest and prosecute the thousands of deep state traitors who have become a cancer upon America. Were you aware that James Comey was a communist? John Brennan, of course, has remained a communist for his entire adult life. And Barack Obama was a radical Muslim who despised America and worked every day to undermine it through a variety of nefarious means, including allowing U.S. military encryption technology to be captured by Iran via the U.S. drone GPS spoofing incident. For starters, Barack Obama personally authorized the illegal Spygate spying on Trump campaign officials. Barack Obama also allowed China to hack 21 million U.S. military personnel records, effectively dumping the entire U.S. Pentagon database into the hands of communist China. For a full, detailed explanation of Obama's treasonous crimes against America, watch this extremely important video from Real.video. It has been banned from YouTube for obvious reasons. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, John Brennan, Andrew McCabe, Loretta Lynch, Peter Strzok and a long list of other traitors have been conspiring for years to destroy America from within and see it replaced with a communist regime run by authoritarian globalists. Tech giants like Apple, Google and Facebook are all part of the plan, which is exactly why you've seen every one of them working closely with China to roll out authoritarian techno-tyranny infrastructure systems that plan to enslave every citizen of the world, making them powerless and obedient to a globalist technocracy that runs a one-world government. Trump's plan to rescue America from the globalists will require temporary martial law. In order to halt this global dictatorship and defend America against traitors who are working to destroy it, President Trump must carry out the following actions. 1. Achieve the release of the declassified, unredacted deep state documents from within the FBI and DOJ that will reveal the full extent of deep state treason against America. The FBI and DOJ are currently stalling this effort, furthering their treason against America and proving they have a lot to hide. Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff and Warner have already committed acts of treason in calling on the FBI and DOJ to defy this presidential order. 2. Invoke the national emergency powers which are constitutionally granted to the executive branch of government. Technically, this already happened in 2017. 3. Invoke President Obama's Executive Order 13,618 and seize control of Google, Facebook, CNN, Washington Post and the New York Times to halt the treasonous lies, coordinated election fraud and political coup attempt which is being run by all these traitors of America. 4. Use all controlled communications channels to publicly declare the details of the crimes and criminal actors which have been committed against America. Disclose everything to the American people about how their country had been overrun and destroyed from within. 5. Order military police to find and arrest of deep state traitors who have been deliberately undermining America from within. This will include hundreds of people inside the FBI and DOJ, plus hundreds more in the State Department and other agencies. Arrests must also include traitorous, corrupt federal judges who have deliberately undermined America by, for example, blocking Trump's constitutional travel ban to protect America from enemy terrorists. Many traitors will attempt to flee the country, of course, and they will need to be located and brought to justice like former Nazi war criminals. 6. Issue an executive order demanding national voter ID for all future elections. No longer will America tolerate democracy being stolen by the votes of illegals who are granted voting rights by California and other complicit, anti-America states or cities. 7. Suspend elections during the military tribunals, but lay out a timeline for the restoration of elections and nationwide voting, with voter ID in place, to restore the rule of law and give America back to the American people. 8. Deploy the U.S. military along the southern border. Use the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to build the wall. 9. Promise to resign the presidency once the rule of law is restored in America, signaling to the American people that Trump plans to hand over power to the next elected president within a reasonable time period. Americans will rightly be concerned about martial law morphing into a military dictatorship. Trump needs to assure the American people that his job is to destroy the deep state, restore the rule of law, then get out of the way and retire as the greatest U.S. president in history, the president who saved America from traitors and communists. The American people will not tolerate a permanent military dictatorship in America, but they will tolerate temporary martial law needed to drain the swamp, arrest the traitors and restore the rule of law. During this time, by the way, the entire FBI likely needs to be disbanded and rebuilt from scratch. The agency's credibility has been utterly destroyed by the actions of James Comey, Peter, and others. Watch the full video explaining all this in detail.
You heard what Anonymous said. They pretty much just said that dictatorship is coming. President Trump is not running for the next election, folks. I've been telling you this for months. For the last 6 months, if you want to know the truth. I really have. I had to warn y'all. Y'all been, I don't know what y'all are thinking, but I'm telling you right now. We're in trouble if we don't fight back. Mad Dog Mattis will be running the show probably. Mad Dog is an actor from a show called Geographic Explorer. It was called Militia Rising. You need to go look it up. Just thought you might want to know that. The real general is General Dunford, and he will be the one that brings in martial law. Just thought you might want to know that. You're welcome. You're welcome. But I'm not done. If you haven't seen the thumbnail, I had no idea I was fighting against a pedophile. But undoubtedly we are. Anonymous has gave me information on a Chicago church up in Chicago is selling prostitutes and child trafficking with Stoney Stone and this guy named Dave, which we just now figured out. Mayfair, thank you for all the information. Got more information from Anonymous saying that Stoney Stone has been in jail for prostitution and for child trafficking, folks. I was not expecting that. But hey, it's a war. They won't, they got it. I guess you messed up when you found somebody like me before. Dave, or whatever your name is, Dave. The reason you got your channel taken off by Anonymous is because you were pretty much a pedophile. And that's about it. No more about it. Trump is working with these people, and Trump is not involved But when we find out if he is involved, you will be the first one to know, I promise you. I have a feeling, I've got a hunch that he is involved. But you will find out very, very soon. Now, let's go to the next news, which we're not even done. If you haven't seen my race on Facebook Live, I did a race against pedophilia today. Yes, this is my second live video, and I'm probably going to do a third one, folks. I'm running out of time. What we're hearing is December, they're going to really, really shut down a bunch of YouTube channels. December, get ready, folks. But the people that is watching, thank you for watching. Please share this because your freedom is under attack right now. Okay? All right. Alex Jones is not on YouTube, folks, but he is now in camouflage because I'm bringing him here. And I'll tell you why. Alex Jones heard my cry, seen what I was doing, and now he's defending me and taking down the pedophiles. That's right, folks. Breaking news. Thank you, General Shepard, for helping us. Here we go. Enjoy.
Boys, some of them never got found again.
Okay, here we go.
Live, raw, and unfiltered by globalist propaganda. Alex Jones Show. Tomorrow's news today. Well, the election happened 7 days ago, but it's ongoing. And I got to hand it to the Democrats and their deep state controllers. Everyone knows that Broward County steals every election for the Democrats that's close. Everybody knows they always pull up with big trucks with fake ballots, and they've got their corrupt police with machine guns guarding them, and that's the end of it. They rule. And for some reason, the Republican establishment always rolls over to it because they're in a deal with the Democrats to keep them in the two-party duopoly, or nationalism and conservatism and capitalism would take over. And so now they've stolen the governor's race in Arizona. They're getting ready to steal the governor's and Senate race and a bunch of other races that were close. And there's videos inside the main tabulation center where they build walls of equipment so you can't see what they're doing with the ballots. All of it violates the law, and it's being done brazenly in everybody's face. And they're getting more brazen. The Pope came out and said, don't have a vote condemning pedophilia. In fact, this year, when a young man said, I was raped by a priest, Pope said, that's a blessing. It's good to be gay. So now men having sex with little boys is gay. It's the LGBTP pedophile movement. And if you criticize it, well, you're a bad person. They'll have lots of headlines. Jones attacks gay people again. Well, if it's a staple of being gay that you're a pedophile, then yes, I am homophobic, whatever you want to call it, pedophobic. And then it gets worse from there. It's just so insane how out in the open all of this is. Meanwhile, brink of war, troops and tanks head to the Gaza border after hundreds of missiles rain down on Israel. I don't even agree with that headline. This is a war. It's started. We're going to be looking at all the different angles of that. Rabbi warns new Israel-Palestinian conflict could be start of biblical war. It's all coming up today. And the president has come out and said the Democrats and their harassment of my agenda and their harassment of America is spooking the stock market and could tank it. Well, that's totally true. You've got all these prominent people like Bill Maher and others saying we need a plunging economy so we can kick Trump out. That magic wand, we got to get rid of it. And then you got Maxine Waters saying last Monday on the eve of the kickoff of the election thieving that's still ongoing, magical.
Yes, that's what I reported yesterday, buddy. They still reporting it. I heard James Munder heard my cry too, and now he is on the bandwagon with me. So I've got a lot of people around me. if you did not know, James Munder is part of Anonymous. Just thought you might want to know that. Yeah, Dabo 777. We're all together, man. We're all together, and we're like locking hands, like Alabama Crimson Tide going to the football field. That's all I got to say. We're bringing them down, and there's nothing they can do about it. Antifa's going down, and so is the pedophiles. And if Trump wants to step down after this, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, the plan is him stepping down, and then they're going to give it to a dictatorship worse than Trump. Mark my words, guys. After they soften you up and they take out the Antifas, they're going to take you out next. Mark my words. You've been warned.
Trucks, magical ballots, it's raining down out of heaven. From California to Florida, they're just stealing everything. You knew it was coming. And now, it just gets more intense, and they say Trump's crazy. We never said we want to hurt the economy. When their whole model is to bankrupt the nation, to get full control over you and your family. They even wrote policy reports the Democratic Party adopted since the 70s, Cloward and Piven. It's well known in third world countries they keep the public poor to control them so that the underclass doesn't get too uppity. Only the Renaissance, the last 550 years, produced a middle class and wealth and the ability to progress and have science. That's what free market is. But the left teaches you, no, we are the progress. Well, yes, like the progression of syphilis.
I didn't say Dabu. I said Dabu. Doesn't matter. His name's Doppler. He had another channel, but it got kicked off. I'm not here to argue with you no more. I'm bringing you the facts, and I'm going to smack them right in the face with Goliath. And your kit, you're going to be destroyed in the desert.
Into the brain.
You better call Bonnie and Devin and RC, Kit.
The progression of metastasization of cancer cells. Yes, then you are progressing, but not the type of I can slam my car in reverse and drive it through the garage if I want.
Hey, if you want to stay on here and quit arguing with me, you want to know something that's truthful, I will be the first one to let you know this. The reason I'm on gaming is because everybody else is disappearing and they're not watching the gamers. See how smart I am? That's what I thought. Just sit back and relax. Go drive your truck somewhere if you want to. I don't care. But you're not staying here. I'm done with you. You just got sacked by the Alabama Crimson Tide, bitch.
Like a nut. I'll be progressing, but in the wrong direction, like an idiot, like a malfunctioning buffoon. We're not doing that. That's why we are the most attacked, most demonized, most lied about broadcasts in the world. So it's all coming up in an even bigger doozy. Democrats are filing suit, saying that Trump has no authority to have this new interim attorney general. That's like saying Trump has no authority to brush his teeth in the morning. Here we are, Tuesday, November 13th, 2018. I'm Alex Jones, your host. And we're 7 days after that historic election. A referendum on nationalism and free market prosperity versus globalism and collapsing third world nations and world government, corporate world government, Chi-Com rule via the Davos axis. Juncker captaining the dictatorial EU. And we're to believe everywhere else in the world where they've had elections, nationalists and patriots like Trump get elected for the last 6 years, 22 major global elections around the world. But magically here, where they said they'd make their stand, magically, Trump, even though the polls showed he was only 5 points, this was a referendum on Trump, even though the Trump Republican takeover was only 5 points behind in skewed polls, oversampling 10 to 15 points more Democrat, magically, even though they were skewing 20 points or more in the election 2 years ago, magically this time, they gained 20 23 seats, and then it was 30 seats. Now it's 40 seats, and they just keep finding ballots in California and Arizona and Florida and other states, and they just arrive at Democrat precincts that are famous for corruption and who've been found in court to do it in California, Arizona, and Florida, and magically, Florida is turning blue. Now Arizona's turned blue for the first time ever. It's so magic. In Texas, they had illegals vote.
And what did I tell y'all months ago what was going to happen? Florida was going to turn blue because they killed a bunch of them during the hurricane. Hey, I'm just the messenger. And the messenger, I'm the speaker of the Marines, Militia, Anonymous, and WikiLeaks, and ex-CIA and ex-NSA. And we've been right and you've been wrong. And that's what's best for business. Because you just got pedigreed. Naysayers.
They had people vote in the name of dead people. You can see all the skewed numbers.
Hey, if you want to stay here, shut your mouth and know your role. Okay? Because I'm about to lay it the smackdown on your candy ass. How about that one? Stay on here and you learn something. Or I'll just kick you straight off the fucking curb, bud. You're going to need more than your diesel truck. You're going to lose your job you keep on. I will find your job just like I did others. Just giving you heads up. Well, you know what? I'll let you listen. You won't even talk no more. Your channel has been disappearing. It's disappeared. You can listen, but you can't talk anymore. Bye.
They really tried to stuff the ballot box for old Bevo. But old Beto, Bevo, Pito, however you say his name, he still lost by 2 points. But then Abbott won by 7, even though it should be about exactly the same. And then we saw that in these other key Texas races that magically these Democrat-controlled cities had many precincts 100% Beto. Isn't that just magical? 100%. I was going over this with an election expert yesterday, doing a special report for us, Richard Reeves, and he is an expert and predicted everything that happened 2 years ago, about a year before it took place. He's the one that got the superdelegates to first admit that they were going to give it to Hillary, regardless of Bernie winning all those states. Remember that? We got that to the president. Mr. Miller got it to the president. Richard Reeves also interviewed Mr. Miller, who writes a lot of Trump speeches. He's a great patriot, who they're trying to take out, of course. But he sat there yesterday and went over all the numbers and showed me their own maps, and it's incredible. So here's the big takeaway. Everybody knows it. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Because the Democrats have what you call criminal energy. They have criminal will. They have criminal energy and criminal will to do everything they're doing. And they work with other criminals around the world, and they are not Americans. They hate America. They say they hate America. No borders, no walls, no USA at all.
And his name is not Bill. His name is Alex. And I want to help you out here. If you did not read the bottom of the screen since you don't got your fucking glasses on, old man, he's fighting against pedophilia and your freedom. And for your ladies and your kids. Wait a minute, I forgot you're a truck driver. You must like having sex with kids. Ain't that right, Freemason? Just found out Stoney Stone's a Freemason. And I was right on that. I said that 3 weeks ago. And Dave is a Freemason. Catholic preacher. So you don't want to come to me and tell me that I don't know my job when I just put it out on the other YouTube channel of what was going on with Dave. Everybody asks, why did Dave lose his channel? Because he's a pedophile. And he's buying and selling kids at a church. So if you want to stay on here, I will find your background too if you don't want to watch out. I wonder why you're a truck driver. Maybe because you can't get a real job, and you can't pass a drug test. On top of that, you've probably been in trouble with the law, ain't that right? Just like my brother. I'm not fucking off, boy. I'm bringing down every fucking pedophile. They're going to have a grenade in their hand going off.
They teach the illegal aliens how to hate America. They teach them how to lie to get in. Same thing happens in Europe. It's all with the UN, NGOs.
No USA at all. No Trump. No wall. No USA at all. No Trump. No wall.
This is now the operating system of the dumbed-down followers in this country that make up the Democratic Party and the universities and the academic systems. And they're out bullying and attacking everyone and boycotting everyone and harassing everyone who won't submit to them. And of course, they're stealing elections. They're doing it in famous counties, certified and convicted over and over and over again. And you ask, well, then why is the head of the board of elections still there? It's always the underlings of her that get found guilty. It's never her. She never gets her hands dirty. She's a good girl. And it's the same county where you have the police standing down. It's the same county where you get Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Congressman Deutsch, who's sworn to get me shut down off the internet, and then they did. They're coming for your children. They're coming for your free speech. They're coming for your guns. They're coming for your property. They're coming for you. They are conscious criminals that follow the latest methodology of control globally. The exact same operations. They represent multinational corporations that have established the IMF, the World Bank, the TPP, the European Union, and other private corporate bodies. The EU is the Marshall Plan. It's what the robber barons got the U.S. to invest at the end of World War II to rebuild Europe, not for the Europeans and not for us, not for America to run Europe. We could have stayed there and run the thing. But the corporate...
There ain't no Matthew 18:4 that our kids are going to be pedophiled anymore. Ever. I'm sorry. It's not in the Bible. I have read the Bible. It does not say one word that you can go and have sex with kids. Not in mine. LMT 24, Dabu 777 reached out to me. You won't believe who reached out. Alex Jones, James Munder, all the ones that I have put out there last night has reached out to me. Alex Jones is on my side, James Munder's on our side, and so is Anonymous. I mean, all I got to say is thank you to these guys.
Nations, they run it. And they've got a plan. And they've got Macron up there telling you 2 + 2 = 5 billion. Saying, quote, nationalism is unpatriotic. Nationalism means you have rules, you have laws, you have a country, you have a culture, you stand up for each other. You organize because there's outside threats. It's the only reason for a state to exist. And we've had one of the best states ever in America. It's why we had so much wealth. Oh, everybody wants to come here and then exploit it. We become soft. And Macron is a total traitor. And what did Trump say? He said, you're lucky America exists or you'd be speaking German. Your own Vichy French sold out to the Germans. Traitors like Macron. You know, the French didn't even fight. They were ordered to stand out. Almost all of their generals were bought off. How do you think we win?
No, I do not. No, I do not. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I heard it was good. But, I do not. He's former military and I have a lot of respect for him. And if you did not hear my story, what just at the start, Anonymous is saying martial law is coming. And Trump is about to let the election go to somebody else. I wonder if it's Hillary Clinton.
So quick in Desert Storm and all those wars, we buy their generals. It's a smart thing to do, but you got to have traitors to do it. And the Muslims are very easy to buy, and so are the French. A lot of great French people The French used to really fight. I guess Napoleon broke their spirit when it came to war because they used to be one of the most warlike, aggressive folks. But they said all the tough men. French used to be some of the biggest people in Europe, vicious. Gauls. Last group the Romans were able to take over on the continent. They now have just bred into them being sellouts and being selfish, just like Americans have become. Hey, let's not look down on France, boy. The Democrats almost took Texas. We are a emasculated joke. Men don't have will. They roll over and kiss ass, hoping that curries favor with ruthless globalists who's operating...
Alex is right. I've noticed nothing but men kissing ass. Even the ones that's on this YouTube channel right now. They're cowards and they're pussies. Every one of them talking their shit. But don't know how to talk the shit to the leaders that's taking their freedom. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because y'all ladies are the ones that's been donating to the Marines, militia, and these kids. No men. Only 4 men that's on my Facebook that comes to me as a regular. That's pretty sad that Alex Jones just told the truth, that I just said the same thing. Y'all are a bunch of pussies, man. And guess what? We're going to put you in a chamber that you're going to wish you never was in. I promise you that. I promise you. We'll put you in that diesel truck that the guy had just now on the avatar and freeze your ass off with a freezer.
System is anti-America. People ask me, how are you taking being demonized and lied about? How are you taking? I'm taking it fine. I'm a man fighting for my country that has a much better system than what they're trying to put on my children. I've got what you call instincts and spirit. In fact, I'm doing real good. I'm in total war mode. I got so much energy, I'm bouncing off the walls like a ping ball. My country's under attack. I'm being usurped. I'm being enslaved. And of course, Trump admires Putin for standing up and kicking the globalists out. We should all admire Vladimir Putin. I thought about it.
I will leave this earth when our kids stop getting pedophiles. By churches and by Stoney Stone's shit. Stoney Stone, if you're listening to me, man, you messed with somebody that hates pedophiles. And I had no idea. Had no idea until I jumped into the rabbit's hole a little bit deeper. You're a Freemason, and I've got the pictures and the videos to show it. Dude, you just don't know what I got yet. I'm just putting it out slowly but surely. It's like a little storyline. Because you come at me and try to take my YouTube out. Didn't do too good job, did you? You actually just, threw freaking, Crisco into the fire. And now it's burning everywhere. Dude, when we bring out the real information very, very soon, Mayfair is going to have your wife leaving you. Unless she's involved. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Your life hasn't gone nowhere yet. In fact, you lost everything. You even lost your driving license from prostitutions and pedophilia. The funny thing is, you don't even realize how many people I have knocked offline, do you? That's pedophiles. Dude, you just ran into the wrong train. I promise you that. No, it's not the Trump train. It's called the Stonewall train.
Hey, I'm not going to give half-hearted support for Putin. Putin is the model of taking our nations back. And then Brexit. And then America leading the world. And now Brazil. And now Italy. It's happening. And Austria. And Germany. It's all coming back. Instead of the EU run by Juncker, the king of Luxembourg, whose father was the richest Nazi, who took it over by force, and now it's a Nazi project. to collapse Europe and collapse the nations and suck them dry and then have an EU army to enforce over them. Macron is a literal Vichy French traitor, literally. This is a Vichy French plan. They were going to share power over Europe and North Africa in the Nazi world.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I got to say something. Anthony Freeman, Rowdy Dog, thanks for the information on Stoney Stone. I see how you did it. You sent me the information after you dogged me and dogged me and dogged me. Do you realize I'm fighting for your kids? I believe you do now, don't you? And you don't want to have nothing to do with me no more because you know Stoney Stone and Dave is not just, they're not going to prison, folks. If you have not heard, there's a new law now. If you haven't read the book, it's the death penalty. Yeah, you heard me right. The death penalty. It was signed last week.
Kingdom. Well, you think the people offer world kingdoms that this just arrived after World War II? This was already being planned. The New World Order is a planetary world government run out of Europe, and the Bible said it would come 2,000 years ago.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Please remember, without your financial support.
Which one is that? You talking about? I don't know who you're talking about. Johnny Moxon, whatever it is. Yeah, he's a pedophile. That's why he's on YouTube. He's one of them.
We will not be here. We have one of the biggest sales ever. 67% off on high quality colloidal silver. 50% off of Super Mel's Female Vitality. We also got 50% off on Brain Force Plus, 50% off of Survival Shield X3, and so much more, but only for 5 more days. It ends Sunday. The United States.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he's one of them. You know who told me that? Dabu.
Statement of the Democratic Party: America was never great. It'll never be great. Governor Cuomo. The globalists are here to break our laws.
Oh, by the way, if you did not know this, like I said, Trump is going, they say he's the one that's going to start martial law. He's a puppet. Remember that. The only person that starts martial law will be General Dunford. Not General Mattis, a puppet or a actor. Just giving you heads up. Hope y'all enjoying the show. I kind of extended it today. This is not the only match you're going to see today. This is the Royal Rumble celebrity match, but we're going to have the Star Wars match next. Because this is a big, big story right here. Listen to this. Y'all wanted Infowars back? You got it. Somebody sent me a message on Messenger and said, you need to bring back Infowars. They're helping us. And he is. You just heard it. You just heard it, Harlan. All I got to say is martial law's coming and Donald Trump, he's not going to be in office for a while. He's going to be gone. You heard it from Anonymous. Anonymous said it before we started the show. You have to go back and look at it and listen to it, okay? I don't know how to explain it. Reverse it. If you have to, hit that button over there and then put your finger down to it and reverse it all the way down. Yes, Infowars is on our side about the pedophilia. Alex Jones has come to me. This is so long of a story, guys. I don't know how to explain this. Dabu has come to me. James Munder has come to me. They all seen my video that I put out there on their names. and it's working. Thank you. Harlan, we got to save our kids. And I was wrong. It was not June. It's going to be May. A little bit shorter, folks. May 2019. They're trying to legalize pedophilia. And it's not Congress. It's the 13 world banks, folks. It's George Soros.
They're here to take over our country. They're here to conquer us. They're here to suck us dry like Venezuela, like North Korea, like China. And they mean business.
Well, the only way you're going to save your kids, Harlan, is to save and share. If you don't share, you're not going to win this war by yourself.
The Democrats have openly stolen the governorship in Arizona. I was reading where the conservative would be 1,800 votes ahead, and then suddenly the Democratic counties would find 2,000. And it just happened over and over again. And they're there in Broward County in Florida with just truck after truck arriving days after the law says they can't, and no one knows where they're from. And they admit, when people put cameras on them, these are provisional. It doesn't matter. Just cram them in, cram them in. And you've got Democrats and former Hillary staffers and former MoveOn.org and current groups on the news are manning this as volunteers. And if they see cameras, they put up walls. They use bins to block it out. And then they just start shoving everything in to the machines, looking over their shoulders.
Yeah, well, if you didn't hear what I did yesterday, Harlan, if you haven't gone to my other YouTube channel, I noticed you haven't commented down below on it. So I'm assuming you didn't see it. Stoney Stone and his preacher, Catholic preacher, running a prostitution ring. Y'all got to start watching my videos, folks. We're running out of time. December, we'll be cutting a lot more YouTube channels off. The UN is about to cut off a bunch of YouTube channels. You're not listening to me. You're going to wish you're going to listen to me on next. You only got, what, a couple more weeks left to December? Just think about it. Y'all don't got long, folks. Obama said he wanted to win the war on Christmas. Guys, y'all need to wake up, folks. Well, just saying. Y'all running out of time. Charlotte said the same thing. I've been at the hospital. Why y'all at the hospital? I just told y'all about the hospital. I'm going to do it again. The NWO wants you dead. And they're the NWO. Bottom line. You take that shit at the hospital, we'll kill you. Bottom line. We're not even done, folks. I've got a long show for y'all. I'm going to do a part 2 video tonight. Just telling you guys, we're not done.
It is the most over-the-top, suspicious behavior, and the county's been caught stealing elections over and over again. Meanwhile, you've got the EU, you've got CBS television, you've got every channel out there, world leaders saying nations don't exist, they're bad. Now, a nation existing is evil. Because the globalists have 5 billion plus third world people, almost 6 billion. I guess it's more than that, because there's 7.5 billion people. And only about 1 billion, you could say, live in the first world. And a lot of those are in third world conditions too. I'd say there's 800 million people living at first world standards. That leaves 6 billion, 700, 800 million people. That number's about to be 8, 9 billion, third world, who are being taught the West is yours by big mega corporations that are building armored compounds in Tasmania and Kauai. I mean, they are about to smash.
People just don't realize that you're taking the fucking drugs. I'm going to tell you this right now. I feel better since I got off the fucking drugs 4 years ago. Lot wide awake. But when you're taking them, you're not awake. You're actually draining. You got more headaches. Your body's more aching. You're sick more and everything. Just thought you might want to know that, folks. Harlan, I'm telling you, get away from the hospitals. Get away from the corporate hospitals before they kill you. One of my buddies is dead. They cut his leg off. They said he was going to save his leg. Didn't make it. Now he's dead. Okay? Just thought you might want to know that. They killed my grandfather. They killed my grandmother. They killed my other grandmother. Just telling you. Y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to wake up. And we got to start. We got to shut down. Who's Andy? Who's Andy? We got to shut down the fakers. If we do not shut down these people, Stoney Stone is coming for your kids and your guns. He's one of the Antifas, folks. I thought you were talking about Andy Griffith. I don't know. I don't know what you was talking about. I'm worse than Andy Griffith. I promise you that. I'm like Barney Fife.
Everything. Bill of Rights, Constitution, your pension funds, they're going to swindle all those. That's why socialists finally woke up too late in Europe, from Germany to Sweden.
What's up? What's up? We got a tidal wave coming through here. Alex Jones is on my side now. James Munder's on my side. They realize who they need to be on the side of. They realize who is the man taking down the communist channels. Alex Jones, James Munder, and Anonymous and Dabu is behind me. Yes, I'm still on Facebook. I'm getting ammunition, money for our Marines militia from the people that's sending money from coming out there and being real. Seriously, if it wasn't for y'all's donations, you'll be in a FEMA camp before this summer.
To Spain are now saying.
You did? Okay. I'll look for it. Okay? Is that your name, Harlan Quinn, on there? Who am I looking for on Facebook? Because I just don't put just anybody on my Facebook no more. If there's not a city or a state or a real name or the face, I'm not putting you on there. If you just put out a Facebook, I know you're fake and you're trying to hack us again for the 20th time. That's right. I've been hacked 19 times in the past 2 years since October the 1st, 2016. 2 seconds ago. Okay. 10-4. Yes, he did. We're talking about our kids right now. That's all I care about right now. And our borders not being locked down. You don't have to put a wall up, folks. Okay? We don't need a communist wall, Berlin Wall, or China Wall. Okay? We need people on the ground so they will have real jobs. If we put a wall up, folks, this is reverse psychology. If we put a wall up, we're not America no more again. I want y'all to know that. Keep on listening to Donald Trump, and you will be in a FEMA camp. Keep on listening to Democrats, you will be a FEMA camp. Wolverine. That's all I got to say. That motherfucker's from Scotland. He's not from America. If you're not noticed, New York's getting attacked. Thanks to him.
We don't want to have 200, 300.
And let's get this straight. I hate Obama too. And Clinton. And the Bushes. 10-4. Well, I'll look at it in a minute. I'm not even into it right now. Harlan, I will get it. I promise you. We're not even close to it yet. Okay? We've got to get this in. It's long, long story. I'm only 17 minutes and 7 seconds in this because, let's see here. How long is this? 2 hours and 48 minutes, folks. That's how long this video is, and I want y'all to hear it. He's right on everything, what I've been saying. It's like he's finally behind me. It's finally, all these people are finally behind me. Even BP Earthwatch is finally waking up. It's about time, man. I don't know what took you so long. Oh, that's right. Anonymous kicked your ass on your YouTube channel because you wanted to be around the pedophiles. Not no more. We're going to stop that.
A million people from the Middle East and North Africa here who have no skills and are violent and who will all be on welfare. We're going to go bankrupt. That's the plan. And then after it collapses, they're going to come in with a new super EU stabilization package and army. How do I know this?
Yep.
Because I know how they do it to third world countries, and I envisioned it, and 2 months after I said it in 2016, Soros came out officially and said we need a Marshall Plan. We're going to collapse Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Not hard to figure that out. The EU is meant to strangle and suck Europe dry and then open its borders and implode it. David Knight did a devastating breakdown of nationalism versus globalism today. This morning, here it is.
Patriotism, as I said, Smedley Butler said, it's about defending your home. That's one of the only reasons to fight. Defend your home, defend the Constitution. Patriotism is defending your home. Nationalism is defending your legal system, your Constitution, your way of life, your culture. And those are things worth fighting for. The European army will be used to suppress the culture, the legal system, and it'll be used to destroy the homeland of the European people.
You're listening to the David Knight Show.
We had Macron lecturing us. Of course, you've heard the quote many times by now. Patriotism is the exact opposite of nationalism, he said. Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism. You stupid English types. Yeah. Well, not at all. Not at all. I'll tell you what patriotism is. Patriotism was summed up by Smedley Butler. He said, talking about true patriotism, he said, we fight to protect our homes and our Constitution.
That's right.
So we fight to defend our lives, to defend our lives. Not in foreign wars of empire, not for regime change in the Middle East. We fight to defend our homes. He said everything else is a racket. It is organized crime. And he was exactly right. Patriotism is about fighting to defend your homeland. Nationalism is about fighting to defend your political system and the values embodied in that political and legal system in our Constitution. And if we had stuck to those values, we would have never been drawn into World War I. Macron then went on to say, he said, in saying that our interests are first, whatever happens to others, you erase the most precious thing a nation can have, that which makes it live, that which causes it to be great, and that which is most important is its moral values. Well, of course. And quite frankly, however, Macron is embracing the same type of realpolitik that Henry Kissinger embraced and made popular, along with that phrase, realpolitik. What that means is the politics of pragmatism. We do whatever it...
Uh-oh. You better put some air freshener in there. I promise, Harlan, I will get your friend's request after this. I promise. Where are you from? What city and state? What am I looking for here? Because I'm getting more than one friend's request today. That's what I'm trying to get at. A bunch of people want to donate, and I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. Seriously. I'm working hard for y'all. Cat farts are horrible. Yes. Yes, I'm allergic to cats, so I can't do that.
It's in our interest. And as Henry Kissinger famously said, he said, we don't have any permanent allies. We have permanent interests. And they have no morals and no principles whatsoever.
Buffy, you wanted to see my game designs? I did it. That was the 30-man battle royal. We're not done. Enjoy. We got more coming.
Henry Kissinger, who has said that soldiers are nothing but animals to be slaughtered. Paraphrase what he had to say. But we have seen
what he believes and what he did. Let's contrast that a little bit to the founding fathers. James Madison, we've said this many times, a standing military force with an overgrown executive will not long be safe companions to liberty. The means of defense against foreign danger have always been the instruments of tyranny at home. Among the Romans, it was a standing maxim to excite a war whenever a revolt was apprehended. That is what we're coming up to. We will have war excited. There may be an accompanied economic cause. There is certainly a cultural clash that is building, as I said before the election, regardless of who wins or loses or how they stuff the ballots. You're going to have more and more unrest. And they know that. And they're going to use a war. They're going to start a war to try to control us. Maybe Emmanuel Macron should read the writing of our former president, James Madison, the father of the Bill of Rights. He said, throughout Europe, the armies kept under the pretext of defending have enslaved the people. And quite frankly, that is the true purpose of Macron's EU army. He's not going to be putting that up there to protect them from foreign invasions. He's inviting the foreign invaders, the fifth columns, coming into the country. He's opened up the borders. He's part of the globalist open border cartel. He is not going to defend the people. He's going to use the army to attack the people who object to that, who object to having their homes destroyed. See, patriotism, as I said, Smedley Butler said, it's about defending your home. That's one of the only reasons to fight. Defend your home, defend the Constitution. Patriotism is defending your home. Nationalism is defending your legal system, your Constitution, your way of life, your culture.
All right, the full report is going to be posted to Infowars.com and Newswars.com, where David Knight gives you the definition of nationalism and patriotism versus globalism. But this is a takeover.
Trading.
Well, Roger Stone and his lawyer, Tyler Nixon, are going to join us on the huge White House shakeups. The internal documents leaked to One American News Network that they found no Russia collusion, but are trying to frame people. This is bombshell exclusive stuff you're going to be getting. That's next segment. We're going to be getting into the Democratic Party and others saying they're going to sue Trump, saying it's illegal for him to have a appointment of an attorney general for 210 days before they have a vote, when it's in the Constitution. And I'm going to read you the subsection. But they think their constituents are idiots, and they want to just say everything is illegitimate. And Maxine Waters last Monday, on the eve of this ongoing election theft, as they steal the election nationwide, and as their gains go from 20 seats to 40 seats, and they may lose the Senate now. I mean, it's incredible. Governorships, you name it, they're going for broke. They have come out and she has said that she's going to roll back the rollback of regulations and going to go after all these companies that are moving here. So she's announcing, hey, business isn't welcome here in America, as she literally sits there with legislation blocking fire breaks in Southern California that everybody else has and allowing the inferno. These people, everything they infest burns down, piles of human feces, needles everywhere, mismanagement, Venezuela. Because it's what they do. They love it. They're criminals. So that's all coming up as well. It is just insane. Now, we're going to give you the exclusive. We knew this a year ago, but we were being nice to General Kelly and not trying to stir up trouble for the White House. But Trump announced he's going to fire Kelly's girlfriend. And I was told this a year ago, and I was told this 2 days ago.
10-4. All right, I know somebody that's up in Ohio. I used to race with her. She's one of my big supporters. That's pretty cool.
Oh, by Roger Stone. But he said, let's not go with it yet, because let's just let them break it. But we're going to go ahead and break it now because Trump's ready to flush it, just like we held our fire on Bannon until it was ready. But now the political daggers are going to come out. So you're going to get all the exclusive with Tyler Nixon and Roger Stone right now. Notice it's a fast and furious pace now. After the election, it's just getting crazier globally. Democrats are going for broke. They're totally stealing, totally opening the borders. We have all this video of them training the illegal aliens, how to get in, how to lie, how to say they're asylum seekers. Exact same video out of Europe. poses Christians, but once you get there, it's killing time. I mean, this is a global World War IV run by the big banks, the big corporations against nation state on. And we must have the demarcation line of which side you're on. Free market, your own nation, your own country in the future, or globalists looting the hell out of you and turning you into a third world country. You got a choice, and that's why they're shutting us down ahead of this, because they don't want you to have that choice. No borders, no wall, no USA at all. No borders, no wall, no European countries at all. Nations are bad. Only unelected EU, run by the heir of the Nazi fortune, Juncker, and allied with the Chi-Coms, pledging he could defeat Europe and pledging he could defeat American nationalists 2 years ago when Trump got elected. And now they're just up there. The head of the Vatican says, do not investigate pedophiles. Shut down all investigations in the United States. And the left is, yay! Don't stand up for people raped in satanic rituals in Pennsylvania, in Catholic churches, encircling up to 15 men, raping 6-year-old boys. And telling them this.
He's never said that until I said in my video yesterday. And 2 days ago. This is big, folks. This is big. Alex Jones is slamming Stoney Stone. By the way, Alex Jones wants to kick Stoney Stone off. So I got James Munder wanting to kick him off. I got Anonymous wants to kick him off. It's over for him. That's all I got to say. He's going to look like Dave in his channel.
The sacrament ejaculating in their mouths. I hate to have to talk like that, but that's in the police reports confirmed. And you understand, this is a Satan cult. That's what Satanists do, is they have rituals in churches, they defile Christ, they defile the Holy Ghost, they defile, that's what they do. So it's all happening. And the Pope loves it. Guaranteed he's into it. His deputy Pope is in a secret trial in Australia with over 100 raped boys. Some of them never got found again. And they just found a bunch of dead girls in the Vatican last week. That's right. Little girls that got grabbed off the streets.
You're welcome, man. Thank you. Thank you, man. We got to join together as a team. Look, I don't know if I told you this or not. I've said it on my other channel. Paul Walker was about to come out with all this, with the pedophilia stuff. He was molested, and then he was murdered by the same people that molested him. Just thought you might want to know that. The same people that murdered the people in Las Vegas is all together. So we really appreciate that. Thank you, Becca.
Well, and their parents, people said they were picked up by the Vatican for satanic rituals. Well, they found them, and they did.
And support the other channel. Rest in peace, NWO, The Real News. We care.
Roger Stone, Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, and Tyler Nixon. There is so much to get to here. StoneColdTruth.com, at Tyler Nixon, at Tyler P. Nixon on Twitter. Of course, Roger's at Infowars. He works with Infowars. We're gonna have you guys on for a few segments, and then we have Katie Hopkins in studio with us, and then we have Mark Dice coming on. So big lineup today. But this is such an epic time, gentlemen, as we're trying to relaunch America and relaunch the Renaissance. And the globalists are trying to block it. It's so clear to anyone who's informed. But here we are. So let's get into what's really going on with General Kelly and the fact that he's about to be ousted.
Well, Alex, you'll recall that some weeks ago there was a report that General Kelly and John Bolton, the president's national security advisor, actually got into a scuffle outside the Oval Office. My sources tell me that's because Bolton made some comment to General Kelly regarding his personal relationship with Kristen Nielsen, the head of Security and Kelly's former top deputy. It is an open secret in Washington that Kelly and Nielsen are, as they say, an item, having an affair. It was reported yesterday that the president is on the verge of firing Nielsen. To me, that is a clear signal that Kelly's power is on the wane, and now you see multiple hints that Kelly's replacement will be imminent. I think that is because Kelly has opposed efforts by the president to bring the out-of-control Mueller probe under control under the new acting attorney general. The Democrats claiming that the acting attorney general, Matthew Whitaker, should recuse himself based on his previous political positions is a laughable joke given the makeup of Mr. Mueller's hit squad.
But what we know, we'll get into the whole Russia canard, which is not news anymore, but it is news that's finally coming to an end. And this incredible One American News Network, where they got the documents, it's on Infowars.com, and it's the internal documents, the FBI saying no evidence, no nothing. All we've got is maybe twisting some people's words into perjury. And so they have absolutely come up, like Trump said a month ago. Rosenstein told him, sir, here's a report. Nothing was found. Absolutely no one colluded with Russia, except Hillary and Mueller himself. And this was all to run out the clock we know in the statute of limitations for Mueller and Uranium One. That was their first goal, then discredit the elections, and then try to indict a bunch of Trump's most savvy and dogged supporters like Roger Stone. Tyler Nixon, we're going to break here in a few minutes, but as a lawyer and a long, time confidant of Roger Stone, who also just testified to the grand jury just last week, what would you call this point of history we're at?
Oh, it's seminal. It's a major juncture. It's make or break. I think really either we stand and deliver for the Constitution and for freedom and for liberty for all people and justice, or we capitulate to the horde, to the mob, to the giant collectivist Borg with its ruling elites that will have no right to power, have no really claim to it in terms of their abilities or the results that they produce, yet they will use force and they will use the mob, they will use any means available to enslave humanity and keep their power and lord over us. And I think this is really its break point for the world, for the globe.
That is exactly where we are. And then the bizarreness where they say nations are now bad. We formed an army. We won't let you leave when these countries didn't vote to join the EU. And then Trump says, hey, buddy, we saved your ass from the Nazis when French government collaborated and totally laid down. Only the British fought back and got run to Dunkirk. I mean, people don't know. The French stood down. The French occupied themselves. And Macron is now right in line with the marshals that did that.
Yeah, those comments by Macron were just absurd. Patriotism and nationalism, I mean, it's semantics, really. What it comes down to is, what do you believe in? Do you believe in being ruled by a global elite sitting atop a bunch of violent street thugs, pushing collectivist ideology that really just comes down to, again, the ruling elite? It's amazing that they would hide behind collectivist ideologies as though it's for the greater good, when we all know it's about enriching those at the top. And that's exactly what we see in the Democrat Party today. These people don't stand for anything anymore. 85 targets of investigation. What are they? They're just an investigative hive mind intent on...
They have mutated into a criminal cult. For 20 plus years on talk radio, I've had liners that say, defending the Republic from enemies foreign and domestic, awakening America and the globe to the threat of corporate fascism in the form of globalism, carrying out a technocracy agenda. It wasn't until about 5 years ago at Davos that Michael Bloomberg, David Rockefeller, and others began to say, we are a technocracy and we're establishing a private world government. Exactly what I was saying, because they had secretive white papers, because their documents had leaked over the years. Barry Goldwater first exposed it. Carol Quigley wrote about it and thought it was a great idea. He was an insider. And so all we are is loyal people. It's not like there's some foreign great thing that's better. If Switzerland wanted to merge with us, I'd be all for it. It's the unelected EU, and it's here now. But let's shift gears into Russia, because that's how they try to discredit nationalists trying to bring their country back. And exposing Hillary's criminal activity in the WikiLeaks with Russia, with China, and others. How do you change the subject that Robert Mueller is involved delivering uranium, weapons grade, most weapons grade ever, they were saying, to the Russians secretly to show all the good stuff Hillary was ready to sell them? Treason. You change it to Donald Trump and Donald Jr. and Roger Stone and now Alex Jones and Dr. Corsi. We've been on Corsi because they've been to the grand jury over and over again, and the media was saying that he was saying, that Roger, did all this, but it turned out never said any of it. So, of course, he says he's now going to be indicted. Of course, he's a hero. There is a video exclusive of OAN on Infowars.com where they got in to the Justice Department. Obviously, Trump's now allowing this. Fox has the info. They're too scared to do it. That's how controlled they are. And they show the documents that Rosenstein gave Trump a month ago when Trump came out and said, Rosenstein says it's over, no collusion. Fine, let's move on, make the country great again. Which everybody already knew, but there it is. But later, now Mueller's trying to end it, but with a few process indictments to make it look like there was something at the bottom of the rabbit hole. Will it be Corsi? He thinks yes. Will it be Roger Stone? Hell, it might be me. Who knows, man? They have congressional hearings saying I'm a Russian agent with no proof. At CIA and Defense Department hearings, at the House and Senate Intelligence Committees, and I'm not allowed to be a speaker and defend myself. Public hearings. You've seen the clips. This isn't America. They are the traitors saying that. They are the ones that hate America. Not absolutely rabid pro-America people like me. I'm a foaming at the mouth pit bull for America. My whole family, since the damn thing started, Mayflower both sides, founded Texas, 100% pedigree. You cannot be more American than me. It's a fact. I'm not bragging. But the idea to say that I am a traitor is the most asinine manure the planet has ever been fed. I'm sorry, the Pope says drop all pedophile investigations and pedophilia is good and tells people, you're lucky to be gay. You're lucky priests raped the hell out of you. That's in the news today. Wow. Now being raped is gay, so don't talk bad about it. Excuse me, gentlemen, I'm going to stop ranting this segment and the next. I'm just so, the quickening is amazing. This OAN report I'm going to play later, it's on Infowars.com, is just, you always use the word extraordinary. It's extraordinary. Roger, Tyler Nixon, this whole thing's coming to a head. Everything's coming to a head as Trump begins to take the gloves off.
The WikiLeaks collaboration. Where is any evidence whatsoever or proof that I knew about the source or content of the allegedly stolen or hacked emails published by WikiLeaks? It doesn't exist. So now they're trying to jack Jerry Corsi, maybe me, maybe others up on some bogus frame of a process crime. And with all these Democrats jumping up and down saying the acting attorney general should recuse himself from oversight of the Mueller probe because of his previous political opinions, it's really ludicrous. Tyler's had a more direct experience with the Mueller grand jury. I think he can tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the whole thing started with the FBI contacting me out of the blue, literally 1 week to the day before I went in and testified. So they were very quick to move things along. They wanted me in there. And by the way, Alex and Roger, one of the FBI agents, when I mentioned posting the video of Randy Credico basically denying, saying that he was the intermediary, and I asked if they saw it, they said no, but we did see that video of you and Roger Stone and Alex Jones at the range last year. So they watched that one of us firing up targets. But at any rate, Robert Mueller, this whole thing, he worked at a law firm called Wilmer Hale. One of the attorneys there at Wilmer Hale, who's been in a revolving door Justice Department position, is someone named Jeannie Rhee. Now, I knew Ms. Rhee to be someone who had worked for Hillary Clinton directly as her attorney, representing her in the email, some of these lawsuits involving her email, missing emails, the 35,000 missing emails. This is around 2015. She also represented the Clinton Foundation, defending them against racketeering. So I knew that there to be the FBI, 2 FBI agents, and an assistant U.S. attorney who I was going to be interviewing with immediately prior to testifying to the grand jury. Now, they kept saying prosecutors when they referred to the interview meeting in advance, but they never said who it was going to be. So I go to there with my attorney and sit down, and who walks in? Jeannie Rhee, and introduces herself. It gave me serious pause. I almost couldn't believe it.
This is the attack dog of Hillary Clinton. This is her Kraken. This is her political assassin. This is her water bearer, her groom of the stool.
Yeah, this is the one who defended her against all types of legal actions concerning her elimination of thousands and tens of thousands of emails. Now, it's not a matter of like this was the attorney for Hillary concerning some side thing, and the fact that she was her attorney makes negligible difference either way. No, she was her attorney concerning cybersecurity, concerning leaks, concerning questions about how she handled her electronic accounts and so forth. Meaning, like, Jeannie Rhee might have information on a confidential basis with Hillary Clinton as to sloppiness, incompetence, the possibility that maybe it wasn't hacked. Maybe there was a leak involved, or maybe it was, as Roger Stone has said repeatedly over and over, walked out the back door after having been downloaded to a thumb drive, as validated by Bill Binney, who said that the...
Yes, it is. Alex Jones is on our side now since he's seen the videos, the last two videos of the pedophilia on my birthday, and then he's seen the video about the Democrats bringing in and the Republicans bringing in the other people. Yeah. Bringing in the people from the border. Y'all don't understand. They're coming in already in charter buses. And it's George Soros's buses. Shoot, I'll get it right in a minute.
Transfer speeds of like 30 megabits per second were physically impossible to have gone over the encrypted networks or the networks that they claimed in order to go back to Russia. So anyway, Ms. Rhee walks in. It's speaking of breakpoints, it's the point at which
basically
you say, well,
it's like Hillary Clinton walks into the grand jury.
Yeah.
It's like Hillary Clinton is running the prop.
You're welcome. Oh, she said, thanks, Harlan. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the 12th. Happy late birthday. You're welcome. You need to go look at that video I just put out. They legalizing pedophilia in 6 months. Add it up. That would be May 2019. The Democrats and the Republicans are.
Execution.
That's right. And Robert Mueller's law firm partner. So, this little and double Yale, both, you want to look at the number of Yale attorneys who are after Roger Stone, after Donald Trump, after you, Alex. It's like what's with Yale? My God, it's got to be a blight on this country with the people it's producing, the radicals that it's turning out, the armies and hordes of lawyers who are bringing these frivolous lawsuits to try to tie everyone up. And you know what? This is the essential point here. I thought about it as I sat there trying to wade through all of this minutia, this hair splitting that these Ivy League attorneys working for this this hit squad. And by the way, I'd like to say the FBI agents and the assistant U.S. attorney were exemplary. I will say that the people who are working at the lower levels are patriots and good people. From everything I saw, they were courteous, professional, and just trying to do their jobs. And you could see that they were exhausted of it just as much as probably anybody else who's the target of these investigations.
And it's a classic witch hunt when you've got the witch in bed with anybody that'll pay her. She's in bed with over 100 countries selling a shout, and there's the witch. There she is. You're looking for one. Good Lord.
It's evil. Evil projects itself onto you, accuses you of its sins. And what they're trying to do, Alex, and Roger knows this all too well, and unfortunately been successful to some extent, is they were trying to tie our hands and have us arguing over tertiary level, laughable, you didn't say this, hair-splitting semantics to bring process charges, to have attorneys and people like me who are having to beat this back rather than fighting them offensively, rather than fighting for reforms in government limitations.
That's right, Tyler. Nixon, stay there. Roger Stone, stay there. We're going to come back, and then we have a special guest coming in studio. I want to come back and then shift gears, what you're predicting or gut level, what you think's about to happen. Because Trump's been told it's being wrapped up. Nothing was found. Those documents have been leaked, confirming what Trump a month ago. The article is on Infowars.com. And we'll also look at Kelly and his reported girlfriend. Trump set to fire Kelly and his girlfriend in the next few days. That information is exclusive. It's well known in D.C. that the head of DHS that Kelly brought in is his main girl. We're nothing wrong with that, except that it causes a conflict of interest, and Kelly's not been executing like the president wants him to. So we're about to see more heads rolling. Oh, stick with the plan. QAnon just went down the toilet again. Infowars proven right again. Globalist snoop groups, Disinfo ops proven wrong again. Infowars continuing to give you next year's news today. Do not forget, without financial support, we will be annihilated. Infowarsstore.com has some of the biggest sales ever on select items like colloidal silver, super male vitality, X3, the new survival shield, 50% off, store-wide free shipping, and Alexa Pure Breeze for $127. You cannot get a better water filter anywhere near that. We'll be back with hour number 2.
I was hacked 19 times since October the 1st, 2016, when Obama gave the internet to ICANN, China.
Mark Dice is joining us in the next hour. This hour, we've got a very special guest who's going to be in studio, Katie Hopkins, KT Hopkins on Twitter, hopkinsworld.com. And then I've just got... You've got to stay tuned for this broadcast, and you've got it later when we upload it to Infowars.com, the audio and the video. You got to get it out to people, because I haven't even got into the news yet. It is what's happening in Israel, and they're already at war with Hezbollah. We've got the total election fraud continuing a week later. Democrats are just stealing everything, any close races. All the fake ballots they need are being produced, or even getting caught. It doesn't matter. It's all happening. Gentlemen, how do you see this all ending? Because Trump finally gets the fact that the globalists don't want prosperity. They want to destroy him. And then he's been lied to by a bunch of double-dealing cowards. He's about to remove them. The Russia thing's a total fraud, but the Democrats don't seem to care. The deep state doesn't seem to care. So the immovable object, unstoppable force, what's going to happen here?
Well, Alex, I can't really say. I do know that they're trying to destroy me financially. They're trying to drive my family to bankruptcy because I refuse to fold. I am not going to plead guilty to some bogus crime, particularly perjury, that I am not guilty of. I've committed no offense in connection with the 2016 election. I'm being persecuted because I appear on Infowars. I'm being persecuted because I supported Donald Trump for president. I'm being persecuted because I was effective in the defeat of Hillary Clinton. This is, as the president says, a witch hunt, and I think Mr. Mueller is running out of time. And he now has oversight from a real attorney general who's committed to the rule of law. Beyond that, I can't speculate.
What should Trump do right now? Because I know the governor 5 days ago in Florida ordered them to impound the ballots. They're not doing that. They're just showing up with more totally illegally.
Well, you've got several things going on at once. First of all, we have a recount on, but if any county fails to complete the recount, which is an arduous process, by the deadline, then the numbers they reported on election night stand. That would appear to benefit the Republicans. Yet in Broward County, specifically, votes that have been disallowed by the election board as not valid are now being counted. And Republican observers are being denied access to the recount process in violation of the state sunshine law. So this is up for grabs. The real hero here is Republican Attorney General Pam Bondi, who has directed the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the Secretary of State to investigate those two infractions that I just mentioned.
Tyler, put a cherry on top of this situation for us.
I think the Democrats' securing of the House.
I'll say this again, and I've been saying it for months now. I'm coming on at 4 o'clock Central Time, but I am on live on Facebook. I did a NASCAR race fighting for pedophilia, against pedophilia. I did 2 videos, and I did this one. I am not stopping, guys. We're running out of time. December could be more YouTube channels disappearing. This is coming out of Anonymous, WikiLeaks, and I'm giving you heads up right now, folks. Your top YouTube channels are about to get killed by the communist parties. Y'all don't understand. We have been sold out by Donald Trump and Obama. Y'all need to wake up.
Representatives will prove to ensure Donald Trump's re-election as president in 2020. I think they will lose seats, and there will be a reversal because people will see that they stand for nothing, that all they're interested in doing is basically hatred and street violence. And
let's do it to it. I've got my lucky penny. We gotta get on the same team, guys. We gotta rob their load. All right? You can be Vin Diesel or Paul Walker. I don't give a damn. All I got to say is we got to steal their load before they steal ours.
Endorsing and abetting essentially sedition and this types of un-American activities that I think the bulk of America,
You got a very bad migraine because you've been in this rain. Am I right? Got to stay out of the rain, folks. Enjoy the game designs and enjoy the show. No, you haven't been in the rain? Okay. Well, I'm just giving you a heads up. Well, let's just say that it's not medical, I promise you. It's the chemtrails that's in the air. You're feeling it. If you've not noticed, the birds are feeling it. The bees are feeling it. Everybody's dying left and right. Animals are dying. By the way, I've got a story coming out tonight. Anonymous even said it. They're about to start not just taking your child and your kids, but they're about to start eating your animals. That's right. Your dogs are involved, folks. Your animals are going to be eaten just like they do in China.
Americans, regardless of this election results, do not support and will not very long tolerate in this country. And I think that we will see our own forces continue to expand and grow as the Democrats launch their, whatever you want to call it, investigation Orama, where they don't stand for any.
Well, there you have it. There's something for you to fight for, Harlan. I miss Alex Jones and Governor Jesse Ventura on the show. Conspiracy theory, great show. No, conspiracy theorist is a pedophile word now. Everybody that's saying it is from the pedophilia area. So please don't say conspiracy theorist unless you won. It's real.
Anything except literally just constantly hounding the man in charge, the man in the arena. And I think Donald Trump, if he's able to keep his cool and not get too wrapped up in the attempts of people Schiff and these other little henpecking nothings who, and future President Eric Swalwell, right? Yeah, sure.
That's great. We got to fight for our freedom, our kids, and now our animals. It's sad, but it's true. This is awful. I want y'all to hear it in a minute after we get done with this story.
If he maintains his cool and we all continue to plow forward, I think we're going to see victory in 2020 and beyond. And the Democrats are going to collapse into oblivion where they belong.
That's right. And, just like your ancestor, Richard Nixon, should have gone on the offense earlier. Trump must go on the offense now or they are going to destroy him because he is for this country and he is delivering. And they are literally enemies of this country and work for the globalists and hate America. That is their official policy. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be back with Katie Hopkins and more. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Katie Hopkins, syndicated radio host, TV host. They have government-funded plays in the UK calling for her murder. She's going to be in studio with us about 5 minutes to the next hour. Then Mark Dice is going to be with us as well. He's got a new book out and a lot of other big developments. Very excited about that. And then PJW from England, always a heavy hitter. He's going to be hosting the 4th hour ahead of the War Room with Owen Schroyer and Roger Stone today. Everything is coming to a head. If you just joined us, there is a huge One News American Network, OAN, One American News Network video, a special report where they got in to the Justice Department, where showed the document talked about a month ago. No evidence of Russia collusion. Mueller's investigation is coming to an end, but they want some fake indictments for perjury.
Yes, they've been here. I told you they're on George Soros's buses that he used for the protests. For, for the Antifas. Just found this out. Antifa's PayPal has been shut down. They're demanding money. Does that mean Antifa going to finally jump the board on our train? Who knows? All I know is they're losing their money, and I think after they keep on losing their money, they're going to start fighting for us. And that's fine. more power to them. What comes around goes around. I told you Antifa wasn't going to win. They're getting shot and killed, and they even realizing it on my YouTube channel.
That is huge. That is on Infowars.com and Newswars.com. Trump is pointing out the Democrats are trying to implode the economy, working as hard as they can, saying they're going to bring back the regulations that brought the jobs back. And so Trump's right when he says they're the ones killing the economy. Stock market, plunged last week, and yesterday it's come back up some because they're saying they want to hurt the economy to hurt Trump. I mean, Democrats say it on the news. Bill Maher.
They're in school buses. They're on charter buses. They're in diesel trucks with, looks like grocery food stores are on them. They're in gasoline trucks. They're on bed trucks. They're on everything they can say. But I will tell you this. I'm not the only one that has reported it, and I will tell you who else is reporting it. There are tanks in, I believe Russia has sent tanks and military to the border to help Trump. Just want you to know that right now. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, is meeting with the president of Mexico. What does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. Red Dawn is coming, guys. Red Dawn. That's how they come in. Y'all seen my, look, y'all seen my Facebook profile I put in where the military looks like they're coming in. That is the roads or where they're coming in at. If you haven't seen it, go to it. You can follow me if you don't want to friend me.
Says it. It's just true sabotage against the nation. And then I'm going to read from the Constitution because the Democrats are now filing suits and saying that Trump can't fire an attorney general and then bring in one for confirmation when it's in the Constitution. So next level disinfo. The Pope's come out and said stop investigations into pedophilia and don't have a vote by the
EMPs and missiles coming into the United States. I've been showing y'all pictures and stuff on my Facebook. I'm not using YouTube, folks. I'm using Facebook too. Pancakes, anyone? And cereal?
Cardinals to call for it, cover it up, because he is up to his eyeballs in it. Vatican orders U.S. bishops to postpone crucial vote on sexual abuse claims. It's totally public. It's admitted. It is unbelievable. Some of it including satanic rituals. Just like
no, I've got more than 5 Facebook accounts. It's the one that looks like that I'm cooking. I'm doing a magic trick with the food. I'm dumping something in there. It's a video now, okay? Profile video. I'm dumping something in there. I'm putting my fist in the food, and it turns into popcorn. Check that out. That's my profile. Andrew Jackson, Birmingham, Alabama. Ding.
We've seen this pop up over and over and over and over again. CNN, as we told you days ago, has now sued President Trump and his top aides, saying you can't kick them out of the White House. They lobbied to have our press credentials pulled, which was done a year and a half ago. I mean, they are just monsters. They are monsters. They are unbelievable. They call for deplatforming, banning all conservatives, not letting conservatives have...
Don't ever say you'll be right back. Have you not ever seen the movie Scream? Shit. Every woman said they would be right back, or the man said they would be right back, and they would die. Don't ever say that. Just say, coming, or alright, or something. Whatever. Don't say be right back.
Advertising, and then they're going to have hearings in 2 months when they get into office in January. And they've said publicly that they're going to have hearings on the attack on the First Amendment when it's Obama that sent hundreds of journalists and whistleblowers to prison. And Trump has done no such thing. These people are monsters, and they are murdering the truth big time.
Did you hear what he just said? Trump has not put them in jail yet. And they're not going to. Thank you, Alex. for the truth. And I'm the best in the world. Who else is using the Infowars? Who's putting Infowars on YouTube? I haven't seen that. I'm watching it on another platform. It's not even on Facebook. See, I'm fast and I'm furious and I'm thinking with my brain. Where's anybody else at? They asleep somewhere?
Just like they're stealing the election, endangering our republic. There's a very important report on Infowars.com by Harrison Smith. What's happening in Florida threatens to collapse our republic. The Democrats have gotten away with so much, they're stealing it all over the nation. You thought the election ended a week ago? They're taking more and more House seats, Senate seats, gubernatorial seats, everywhere. Last night in Arizona, clear fraud. We are dealing with criminals making their move. America's not rejected Trump. The Democrats are involved in massive fraud to the next by John Bound dealing with the global treason. Our media, the globalist media, says it's treason if Trump says a nation exists. Macron says the same thing now, while he establishes an EU army to not let nation states leave who never voted to enter it. They're even threatening an EU army against the UK with Brexit. Wow, these really are incredible times we're living in. It's all happening in front of us. Here's John Bound's report. We'll come back with Katie Hopkins in studio. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com, tomorrow's news today.
It can be a difficult dilemma explaining where you stand as an American. The rampant betrayal has driven many away from a Congress with what is better described as a high disapproval rating. So when President Trump echoed the core beliefs of a majority of Americans,
As President of the United States, I will always put America first. Just like you.
Wait a minute. I thought you said you were going to put us in first, but you were with the elites, the world groups. That's the New World Order over the weekend. Oh, seriously, man. You weren't even at the Veterans Parade. You were with Angela Merkel. And you say you're a freedom... you're a president? I digress.
As the leaders of your countries will always and should always put your countries first.
well, you say nationalism. I actually call it nationism. We believe in the nation state. That is the unit we identify with. That is what we feel part of. That is what we cheer for in the Olympics. And if necessary, that is what we're prepared to fight for. It embodies our values, our families, our communities, our heritage, our identity.
A globalist is a person that wants the globe to do well, frankly, not caring about our country so much. And you know what? We can't have that. You know, they have a word. It sort of became old-fashioned. It's called a nationalist. And I say, really, we're not supposed to use that word. You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay?
It's obvious that nationalism seemed a simple explanation for where most Americans stand against the creeping tide of globalism, protection of our values, security, and future against the efforts of international bankers and world government. However, the conniving mainstream media saw yet another opportunity to smear the president and anyone that agrees with him. Shocking. It is. We have a president who calls himself a nationalist. Nationalist, a loaded word for a lot of people. But the president dismissed any concern about it and sitting at his desk in the Oval Office defended the new label he is using for himself.
I love our country, and our country has taken second fiddle.
There is a concern that you are sending coded language or a dog whistle to some Americans out there that what you really mean is that you're a white nationalist.
I've never even heard that. I cannot imagine that. You mean I'm a nationalist? No, I never heard that theory about being a nationalist.
So now the Trump campaign has disavowed William Johnson and the white nationalist party that he runs. But that has not stopped William Johnson from remaining a big-time fan of Donald.
Everybody else sees me. Harlan, it's not the FBI. Or you said Facebook. I told you I was on there. It's not that hard. I got over on that Facebook that I'm really talking on is 600 something people. That help you. Birmingham, Alabama. Andrew Jackson. I don't think Andrew Jackson, the president, is alive. I'm Andrew Jackson the third, which I don't call myself the third.
President Trump has a ton of support from white nationalists, and that's a very different thing. Merriam-Webster's definition defines a white nationalist as one of a...
You broke what? You broke your phone? Hey, I seen a woman drop her phone in the toilet and cried over it.
Group of militant whites who espouse white supremacy and advocate enforced racial segregation.
Even in Los Angeles, where white nationalist William Johnson was elated with President Trump's press conference.
I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either.
He is the most honest president since George Washington and the cherry tree.
On the campaign trail, you called yourself a nationalist. Some people saw that as emboldening white nationalists.
Yeah, that's my other one. Go to Dale Jr. Jackson's Friends and you'll see Andrew Jackson. Believe it or not, I believe I just shared it on Dale Jr. Jackson on the last video. And I got everything on public, so you will find me. I promise you. I promise you. Everybody knows me now. Everybody. It's like Cheers.
Now people are also
I don't
saying
know why you'd
that
say
the
that. It's
president...
such a racist
There are
question.
some people that say that now the Republican Party is seen as supporting white nationalists because of your rhetoric. What do you make of that?
I don't believe. I don't know. Why do I have my highest poll numbers ever with African Americans? Why do
Ding, 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 ding. Round 3.
I have among the highest poll numbers? Honestly, I mean, I know you have it written down and you're going to tell me. Let me tell you, that's a racist question. They're assaulting reality. We pay tax. It's our nation. We have a system. We're proud of it. We project our power globally. They go, no, no, no. You can't have a country. We got to come in and take this over right now. Well, who's taking it over? The IMF, the World Bank, the UN Human Rights Commission run by Saudi Arabia and China? It's like having Hitler run your local synagogue.
And as populism becomes increasingly under attack, it came as no surprise that French President Macron, mouthpiece of the globalists, chose to sour the commemoration of the Armistice Day centennial observance in Paris with propaganda. Macron stated, patriotism is the exact opposite of nationalism. Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism. In saying, our interests first, whatever happens to the others, you erase the most precious thing a nation can have, that which makes it live, that which causes it to be great, and that which is most important, its moral values. But Macron didn't even bother to look up nationalism. Nationalism is described as a patriotic feeling. An extreme form of this is especially marked by a feeling of superiority over other countries. Nationalism advocates political independence for a particular country. So, nationalism on its face is simply the opposite of globalism. Not the opposite of patriotism. There is no betrayal by American citizens here, but the desperation infused in the propaganda of the globalists knows no limits, twisting the meaning of words and reality on an international stage. And this is a very dangerous thing.
Well, I'm really excited to have Katie Hopkins in studio with us. She's also going to be on the War Room today, and I'm going to be interviewed for her show. She has hopkinsworld.com. She also does reporting for Fox News. She, of course, has been a big, popular writer for major British newspapers, with some of her videos getting tens of millions of views. That's why she's become so fired. Just like Infowars, if you're popular and you're not saying what they want to hear, they're standing up for sovereignty and capitalism, and you don't want, Islamic acid attacks or grooming of kidnapped little girls, well, you're bad. You've got to be taken off the air. But now she's come to America, but who knows how long we'll have free speech here as well. So, Katie Hopkins, you were, during the break, you were really saying some incredibly important things, the way you were tying it together. So it's good to have you here, and please do it again.
Thank you very much indeed. It's really good to be here. And it's really good to be here in studio with you as well. We've talked a number of times, but it's good to finally meet a lot of the team members as well. But one of that's really striking for me. I've been out in LA for the last week or so with the midterms. One of the things that's really striking for me is the way that here in the States now, you know, the watching democracy be overturned. So in Florida, the surprising result in Arizona, watching people overturn what seems to be a democratic vote, and how that ties in with Brexit, where 17.4 million people voted for something that probably we'll never see either. And it's kind of this idea of what do people expect? They scrap the idea of the true family. They remove your true identity of your country by flooding it with people from another place, and then they tell you to vote, you vote, and then they tell you your vote doesn't count, or your vote doesn't matter, or they just found some more ballots, so funnily enough you're not getting the guy that you voted for. You know, at what point do they expect people to still be able to believe in a system or the country they belong to? You know, we're trashing so much of...
Lady, I knew our vote never counted last week. Hell, I knew our vote had never counted in 1998, but y'all Americans keep on sucking on that Kool-Aid, okay? Because you're choking on the blue and the red pill. And that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for the likes, by the way, everyone. Thanks for the shares. I've been noticing. Please go to Rest in Peace NWO, The Real News, because I'm bringing down the elites. And I'm bringing down the NWO. And I'm bringing down the naysayers. They're even getting shot by my boys. It's on YouTube. Go check it out.
What structures our lives and makes our lives feel like they have worth and value.
And it's a global system. We have our controlled media saying Trump's evil. You can't say we're a nation. A nation existing's bad. You can't even have borders. It's bad. Macron comes out and says it. When it was the Vichy French that signed on to Hitler and the original EU plan, and here he is, this traitor, saying that the Brits are bad or the UK's bad for wanting to get out of something you never voted to get into. You voted 3 years ago to leave, and they won't let you leave, and then magically it's happening here again. So the truth is the people are rejecting globalism and tyranny, but it's become a tyranny. So let's walk through some of the parallels there, because we're dealing, whether it's the UK or whether it's Brazil or whether it's the US, all of us are trying to get self-determination back from the modern corporate colonialism that's globalism.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things we see every time, so if I think about Brexit, you know, we had the Brexit vote, Leave won. People like myself, you know, it was the best day ever, the 23rd of June, 2016, the best night, because we had our voices heard for the first time. You know, this lovely country I come from, a place called the rest of the UK, you know, the UK is divided into two places. There's London and there's this other great place called the rest of the UK. We had our voices heard for once and we celebrated. And ever since that night, ever since that win, it's been a court case to try and stop Brexit. It's been why we need to have another vote. There's this huge campaign called the People's Vote, which is a second referendum. And we've already voted one. Want us to vote again because we came up with the wrong answer. And watching this unfold in Florida as well, where these ballot boxes, provisional ballots, are turning up at...
And it's a famous county that tries to steal any close election statewide.
Yeah, of course. And it's unbelievable that somebody who's already been found guilty of election fraud is still there running this thing. It's unbelievable. You have people trying to cover up for election boxes, ballot boxes turning up, you know, at airports in the back of cars by calling it a bomb. I mean, it's a craziness. It's a madness that we're suffering from. And it strikes me that America was always, you know, we all hold America up as this kind of, because of the Constitution, we hold you up as this ambassador of democracy, the leader of the free world. Well, our societal contract is based on this idea that we have law.
What you're saying is George Soros put egg on our face because we said it was coming and nobody listened to us, and that Trump was going to arrest all the elites that you said was going to happen, Q and Stoney Stone and all your pedophile friends. But I was right, wasn't I? I was right. And you were wrong. And now as we're closing in on Christmas, Obama said he wants to win the war on Christmas.
An order, and
it's being broken.
We comply to to it because we have our vote. You'd want to take away my vote. Why am I now societally contracted into to obey law and order? You know, we are really messing with the system here.
And let's talk about that, because it's like you read my mind. I was literally about to say the social contract is broken, and then you said it because it's prima facie. We're not reading each other's minds. It's the truth. We're seeing the same thing. And we've done our research. But if you look at what they're doing, clearly there's election fraud. The Democrats are saying, let illegal aliens vote. We're catching them all over Texas, with the country, voting in the names of dead people. Project Veritas.
That's great. I'll get it after this show.
It's the undercover video of all this. And then they say, oh, the Trump election is illegitimate. The Russians did it with no proof.
What do you mean you think? It's easy. My face is not showing. It looks like I'm anonymous. And I'm doing a magic trick with food. And I'm putting my fist in the food. And made it look like popcorn.
We have them violating and stealing elections with total proof, but they say it's illegitimate and fascist and dangerous that Trump is saying there's clearly fraud. This is upside down world. There's not even congruency that they're saying it's good to challenge elections with no proof, but with total proof, it's bad.
And there's another thing as well. So not only do I see the parallels stretching from Western Europe or Britain to America in terms of the overturning of a popular vote, as it appears to be happening in Florida. Certainly, I believe it's happened in Arizona personally.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of the incongruency between the numbers. But I think the other thing that's really alarming to me as an outsider, it's the reason I spend so much time here in America, is watching people vote according to religion. So for the first time, you've had two Muslim females elected, and they're going to Congress.
And explain that. Oh, great. But they always vote as a block, and then that's why they're so key.
Yeah, and that's the parallel that I would draw. So we're a long way down that, the UK has fallen. We're a long way down the dark path to some kind of holy hell.
First they take your identity, then they bring in a absolute tyrannical system that votes monolithically. There's no way you can stand against it.
Well, I think, there's a sort of the stages, you can easily see them mapped out. So what you do is you flood an area.
Yeah, we're going to roll with it with a big diesel truck going.
With a monoculture, the Muslim population, you'll see houses change. They used to have a single doorbell, and now they have 4 or 5 doorbells because they become multiple occupancy homes. So you've got 5 families where there used to be one, and that one family leaves because they don't know where they are anymore because they're surrounded by a different culture. Once you have a Muslim population, they vote according to religion because religion is the number one thing in their lives.
And that means they vote how their political imam tells them.
Correct. So you have the political imam. You see those mosques building up where, of course, political Islam is pushed. And then you will see the baton being handed over from one Muslim to another. So it's a new kind of, in our country, we used to have this kind of generational, this aristocracy that used to pass down, whether that was right or wrong. That's how power was passed.
You've traded one out that gave us the Magna Carta and gave us the Renaissance with one that gave us sex slavery and mass death.
You have a new kind of succession planning going on right here in America, in Minnesota, in Michigan. I've spent a lot of time there trying to warn people. But once you start passing that baton from one Muslim leader to another, which you've done with Keith Ellison, straight over to the next one who allegedly married her brother.
And we're going to come back and talk about this because this is key. They are totally monotheistic, a monoculture, let no one else in. And that's good and liberal. But everything Christian or Western, just the idea of liking the West and it works well, even if you're not a Christian, that's supposed to be thrown down the rat hole.
Hey, if I disrespected any Antifa's atheists making Jesus and God, oh well.
Into the garbage. This is totally sick and it's totally planned. Katie Hopkins is on fire in studio. Spread the live links and tell folks about local stations to get around the censors. It's a mission. So, Katie Hopkins of Hopkins World, Fox News contributor. They have government-sponsored plays in the UK calling for her death, called The Assassination of Katie Hopkins. This is par for the course of these people. It's like they call for violence here, and then say that we're calling for violence. So they say that President Trump is attacking the press when he points out they're lying about him, and then they're calling for me to be taken off the air and lobbying successfully to do it on over 100 platforms. And now they want our banking. Now they want our software. Now they're contacting the software we use for the websites, saying revoke the right to software, to contract. This is war. Katie Hopkins was getting into the globalist plan, the admitted UN plan to flood Europe with uncompatible monoculture of Islam, where they literally sell women into sex slavery in North Africa now, aiding the collapse of North Africa and the Middle East with the Arab Spring, to then flood the borders of Europe, to then bring in an internal group. You were getting into the voting, the new Islamic aristocracy, the two Islamic women, even though in their own countries they don't do that, being elected to Congress, flying their Palestinian flags at their victory events.
One of them is a daughter of Palestinians, and when she was elected to Congress as the first Muslim to be elected to Congress, you know, what flag was it that she got out, and what flag was it that she decided to fly first? Of course, the Palestinian flag, and people celebrate because they say, wow, isn't it fantastic? We've got another Muslim woman going to Congress. But for me, of course, those are where the warning bells, well, they're not just ringing, the whole system. I know this system. I've lived it in the UK. You have a Muslim in power. Suddenly the Muslim population of that area, which is a dense and a monoculture right there with mosques that facilitate them, you have them voting according to their religion. What happens next, of course, is that police start turning a blind eye. You have no-go zones where police actively don't patrol, where black money starts to flow in through unregistered mosques. I've seen it happen on the street.
Well, everybody knows that they have in the Islamic culture sex slavery, and they call it a harem, but it's kidnapped women, it's kidnapped children, and this is the process. And Islam is only 1,400 years old, and there are countries that were free, now they're Islamic, like Turkey was the Eastern Christian Empire. It's gone now, and it's the new invasion force. So there's the House of Islam, and there's the House of War outside of it.
There's that, but I think there's also, it's far more sophisticated than that. You know, I don't really focus
cultural war
so much on the female element, though clearly abhorrent. But when you watch them on the streets of Belgium, you know, there's the garages, the car washes, there's the unofficial mosques, and then there's these reception places where they pretend to host things, but actually it's a way of laundering money. The movement of drugs and weapons and money through those areas which are controlled by the Muslims, where police no longer patrol because the imams control who can patrol.
Oh, ambulances and mail won't even get delivered in Sweden and Germany.
Yeah. Precisely my point is that the takeover is far more sinister and far more...
It's a takeover of the entire society, the culture, and they're lawless because everyone outside of their culture is the enemy.
Right, and what you end up with is in Belgium you have the Islam Party, and that's what you will see in years from now in Minnesota, in Michigan. There will be the establishment of the Islam Party, and in Belgium they have two candidates that were elected, and their policies were segregation on transport, and their policies were compulsory headscarves for all. That's the route that Michigan and Minnesota are headed down, and that's the route that the Democrats seem to be applauding. And as an outsider and as a Brit, I find it truly alarming.
And to watch the left, the name of diversity, bring in something that's the opposite of diversity, is a total mono-tyranny. It's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing, and you always hope that at some point the lizard, if I think of Democrats, which I prefer to as lizards, you hope one day that they'll spin so fast that the head will eat the tail, you know, and they'll die from blood loss to the head. And when I think of examples of this, I think of the trans movement, where we just had the World Track Cycling Championship won by a trans woman who's obviously a former male. And now we're going to get to the point where women, I think you had it in Connecticut, the state championships too, two of those races, the 100 and 200.
And let's be clear, these people still have their testicles.
Yeah.
I mean, these are men, and they have twice the strength, bigger bones, more blood.
Just get ready. Just get ready. It's coming to America, folks. It's actually already here. They're bringing it in slowly but surely, if you haven't seen the shows that they've been putting in.
Less fat. I mean, men and women are different. It'd be
smaller
like
brains, those smaller brains.
Well, sure, and we don't have a uterus. so there's a big difference. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, this is a big...
Yes.
So he's not going to compete against Lance Armstrong. Oh, but when Lance Armstrong enhances his maleness to win, that's called cheating. But when this guy goes up against girls...
Alex, you've got to point out that the lady in the middle is called Rachel. So just for your viewers to be clear, that lady in the middle is called Rachel.
And second place now says she's mad and she was cheated, but then they got mad at her, so she apologized. So
she wrote back, on that. But we're now at the point, of course, where you have to say, well, the big thing for the Liberals or the Democrats was women are equal, women are all equal. Well, okay, but how are we equal now if we can't compete? How are we equal if we can't run as fast? How are we equal if men are against us? How is that?
Well, Vince McMahon thinks that since Ronda Rousey wanted to get in the arena with everybody, he's been bringing in men, and Ronda Rousey's just been attacking the men. It's been hilarious. But, yeah. Fox just announced next year, 2019, everything will be real in wrestling, which it's been real. Even the storylines are going to be real. They're going to start paying more money like UFC. You won't say WWE's fake no more, will you? Naysayers.
This is total mental illness.
Yeah.
It's like in the UK where the guy with a big beard comes in and the nurse had a huge, male genitals, and he gets up and says, check my cervix. And then she won't go, okay, he doesn't have a cervix. And so she got suspended.
Yeah, and we have that with waxing parlors too. We have a trans individual in Europe who is suing waxing parlors because they wouldn't wax him as a female.
And they're trying to say, let adult men who say they're women shower with young girls because they'll be the girl's coach. Well, let she's a woman. No, she's not. And Chris Cuomo said it's bigoted if you don't want your 12-year-old daughter to see a woman's penis.
I think
now, see, that's 2 + 2 = whatever. That's mental illness. A woman's genital.
It's true. And we have men now that identify as women who are now being put in prisons with our female population because they now identify as a woman. And then we had a newspaper report recently where the women in the prison were violated by the other lady's penis. And that was actually written in a newspaper.
Let's be clear.
And who did that? George Soros. Your European dingling that's going to be shot in the head if he shows back up here.
A woman raped another woman with her penis.
That's absolutely
this is a family show. This is what they're teaching your 5-year-olds right now. Total mental illness. But this is societal sabotage. Tavistock Institute cooked all this up. You know about that.
Yes, of course. And you see, so you hope they'll get to the point where even they have to go, hold on, we've gone a bit too far with this now. The point that women can't compete in a race anymore because men are in the race and that's not good. But they still don't wake up to it. It's almost like they carry on building on the madness to the point they still can't see.
It's the emperor's new clothes. Once they get you, like Hitler did, to sign on to something really bad, once you've signed on to it, you'll just keep by approximation.
And the other thing, Alex, even though I would say that, look, you chop the legs off a cat, it doesn't become a slug, right? Like the analogy goes. But I don't even mind if you, Alex, want to be Alexandra for the rest of your life. I don't care if you want to be.
I don't hate those people, but it's when you use it against kids.
Yeah, well, if you tell me I have to believe that you're now Alexandra, I don't mind if you want to be, Vera, the Vietnamese guy who's
I could be a beautiful ornate building.
I don't mind.
I could be a beautiful ornate building.
Don't ask me to believe it.
Yeah, I can believe 2 + 2 = 10, but you're saying no, I'm not going to believe that. Well, Katie Hopkins, you're a bigot. If 2 + 2 does equal 10, I'm a beautiful golden ornate building. As a Google exec makes his employees call him that. I am a beautiful ornate golden building. We are being conquered by mega corporations that have looked at the demographics of 6+ billion people in the third world, and they're using them as weapons. And then Macron is repeating the EU project that literally was launched by the Nazis. The French military stood down under orders by their generals, who then moved down to Vichy, France, and ran things. It was like Marshal Tito or whatever his name was. And now they're repeating it. Macron is saying, you need to be open. You need to blah, 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 to be looted by the globalists who, people like Bono pays less than 1% of the money he raises for Africa to it. These are all monsters. The EU bureaucrats don't pay taxes. And now they're telling the UK that never voted to be in the EU that they have to stay. And what about this EU army and just the arrogance? And Macron saying nationalism is the opposite of patriotism. That's saying is the opposite of white. Red is the opposite of red. Hillary Clinton's in great shape. It's crazy.
Yeah, and some background on Macron, I think, is helpful because he sort of just appeared from nowhere and people just went, okay, he's the leader of France, I'll accept that. But actually, people need to really question Macron and his background. He's actually part of the intellectual elite, the establishment. He wormed his way to the position he's in.
Well, let's say it. He was a pedophilic sex toy. Of the establishment. And that's on record. And look, Emmanuel Macron's Rothschild years make him an easy election target. Financial Times.
Yes. So
they know Macron. He's a special puppet to the point of literally shoving their arm in him and puppeting him.
That's a strong way to put it, Mr. Jones, but I do think that Macron is a slime. He has come from inside the very system that he pretends that he's against. Secondly, yes, he did marry his drama teacher, who's like 50 years older than him, and they were together at school when he was just a boy. And there is this really, when you see them together away from the cameras, she is a very old, I'm quite an old lady, but she's a properly old lady, and it's a very, very weird relationship, and that tells you something about him. Also, he wears sparkly nail polish, not saying anything about that, but...
the issue is that it's come out in the news. He's been a sex toy since he was 13 or 14. These elite parties she would take him to, and that's how he went right to the top.
All the way up, as it were. And the other thing is I was there when he was elected, because obviously I was in France to champion Marine Le Pen and champion the patriotic movement that was behind Marine Le Pen. And actually there was a slip at one point that she might actually pull it off.
And she's in the lead again.
I know, it's so exciting. I'm very excited. We'll talk about that.
She's a smart lady.
But when he walked up to the stage, which was all set out for him to celebrate, as people like myself walked in, we were given T-shirts to wear with him on them. We were given T-shirts to wear.
This is him with the big black pyramid behind him.
Oh, yeah. It was all, the staging was huge.
Show Macron's inauguration, a big black pyramid with a flashing red light behind him.
As he walked up to the stage, he walked up to the EU anthem. He did not walk up to the French national anthem, and all of Marine Le Pen's stuff was the flying of the flag. He walked up to the EU national anthem.
And why are the French buying into literally having their noses rubbed in? Is it a form of cuckolding?
It's so weird. So many voters are it drives me crazy. They're so lazy. They look at a picture and they go, oh, does he look nice? Oh, yeah, he looks quite nice. Would I have a drink with him? Oh, yeah, I'd have a drink with him. And then they think, oh, I wouldn't have a drink with Marine Le Pen. And so they vote for him. He is such a slime and such a cheeseball, and yet he has no authenticity, and you can see it. You can see how shallow he is. You can see it when you look at him, I think. But when I saw him, he's so unimpressive, whereas Marine Le Pen's support is so deep, is so authentic, is so grounded, and she's been in this for such a long time, and her partnered with Salvini from Italy is just a glorious
What does that do to the globalists that from Brazil to Italy, everywhere where you get a vote, people say, yeah, we don't want to be run by some, shadowy group who we don't even know who they are.
It's so exciting. So there's a part of me coming from Western Europe, coming from the UK, that is it's like standing in a cold shower. Like, I just have to endure it. A bit like you have to endure the treatment you receive for Infowars. It's an endurance struggle that we're part of here. We're all in for the fight. But when you see these movements, I was in Germany for the most recent elections where Merkel ended up having to stand down, where the AfD were triumphant, where the leader of the Greens has just said that the horde of invading migrants was one of the worst mistakes we've made in history. And that's from the Green Party leader. And when you see Salvini so resurgent and you see Marine Le Pen coming back on form, there is something so exciting going on. And Poland, if you saw the parade in Poland for Independence Day, 250,000 people, and people like me.
Well, they get it because they've been overrun by Hitler. They've been overrun by the Russians. They've been overrun by the Islamists. They have it in their DNA that they've been overrun a bunch.
So brilliant. And so I interviewed the leader of the Law and Order Party. It's the safest place in Europe to be a woman. It's the place in Europe where they've never had a terrorist attack in Poland. And that day, after 250,000 people marched in the street, people took pictures of the street. They were immaculate. Nothing damaged, nothing burnt, nothing spoiled, no vehicles damaged. Respectful Christian culture. They will be the Israel for the the Christian culture. They will be.
Well, you've got Germans and others fleeing to Eastern Europe now because the West is so dead in the West that we're now refinding what's left of the West in the East.
Of course, Israel will be the home for the Jewish people who are being persecuted right now as we speak by rockets from Hamas.
Oh, if the globalists win, America's overtaken, I will have to go with my family 10, 15, 20 years from now to whatever redoubt or refuge there is for Christians.
Yeah, and there will be this sense. We see it in South Africa, the South African whites. There's only, they say there's only 2 more years that we will have whites in South Africa. They are pulling back to a defendable territory. They are prepared to make a last. They talk of dying in their boots, and we will do the same. We will pull back to a last stand, a defendable territory, and I think that would be Poland, Hungary, Eastern Europe.
And let's be clear, then all the civilization will collapse. It's not even the minorities that want this in the West. Islam does want to take over. It's our own globalist elites that come out of the West that want to sacrifice the West because the idea of freedom threatens them. They're literally betting that they can defeat freedom. This is World War IV.
It is. It is, I think, not widely acknowledged or not acknowledged enough that it's equally profitable to manage the decline of a country. People always say, why does Britain let it
consolidate?
It's easier and more profitable to manage the decline of the country and take the money from the Saudis for another mosque than it is to try and defend or robustly.
Yeah, there's a bunch of weaklings and sellouts that only care about now. But above that, there's the really evil globalist and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the Soroses of the world who said he wants to overthrow Israel. I mean, there are these people that really want to destroy anything that's ancient Judaic or ancient Christian. They're threatened by it.
Absolutely, and that's why we've seen in the Outer Hebrides, which I was just looking for a map, but off the coast of Scotland, so the furthest northerly point of Scotland, the most far north that you can go, the islands off the coast of Scotland, so literally the middle of nowhere, a new mega mosque has just been planned for one of those islands.
These are planted flags. These are like alien motherships landing and disgorging their troops.
And that was known as the sort of Catholic heartland. That was known as the place where Christianity was sort of.
And this current Pope says don't investigate pedophilia in the U.S., shut down investigations. He ordered him today, or last night, to do that. And he's the one saying, open Europe up. He gets nauseated, close quote, when he hears about our Christian roots in Europe. What's going on with this guy?
Yeah, the Pope's a crazy individual, and it really concerns me. I see it with the Pope. I see it with a number of rabbis that come from the left side of the equation, rabbis who know that actually, and I'm such a supporter of Israel and the rights of Jews to have a homeland, and yet there are these rabbis in Western Europe that encourage the Muslims to come because they believe this.
Now, let's be clear. How many times did the Muslims get to the gates of the Vatican and sack Rome, but the Vatican's 100-foot walls stopped them? And he's literally trying to kill what's left of Christendom.
I think so, and I think one of the interesting things about being minorities is that in South Africa, if I think of the white farmers, even when they're a minority, they're only a tiny percentage of the population, they still don't gain any rights.
You know the Vatican will end up being a mosque, just like the Blue Mosque was formerly the big church in Istanbul, formerly Constantinople. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. Interrupt is what you do, partly.
No, I'm famous for it.
Profession. Yeah, exactly. That's what you take when you come.
No, I do a little too much, but no, I was seeing that. That will be a mosque. The Vatican will be a big, giant mosque. What will they call it?
They'll call it the Grand Mosque of Rome.
That's it.
Because in Belgium we have the Grand Mosque of Brussels. There's always a title that kind of links it implicitly to the area it's located in. And the Grand Mosque of Brussels was given rent-free for 100 years to the Saudis. Rent-free.
And they're take the crosses down. They're ordering them to take crosses down everywhere in Europe, ordering them. And maybe we show the Grand Blue Mosque of Istanbul, which was a church, but they teach in U.S. textbooks that Islam built it. A deliberate lie. Look at the beautiful architecture. Islam built it. No, it was built by the Byzantine Empire. You know, poor Katie Hopkins is here from the UK, and it'd be like I tried to serve her tea and crumpets.
Yes.
Or New Yorkers come to Texas and they go, "Where are the horses?"
Yes.
Or like Roger Stone comes to Texas wearing a huge cowboy hat.
And I have to put up with this racket.
I have to put up with this racket.
I've asked for Land of Hope and Glory. I've asked for God Save the Queen, my version.
Queen.
Yeah, or some rugby songs. Do I get them? No, I get this nonsense. That's the sort of team you've got behind you. That is not good. Not good enough.
Listen, you're going to interview me. You're going to be on the War Room. I can have you on so much, and hopefully we'll be working more together. You're doing great work out on the road. In the last 4 minutes we have? What other big nuggets? I mean, really, you're here raising the alarm from the UK that may actually be lost.
I'm here to raise the alarm for particularly Minnesota and Michigan. They know they're screwed, but I'm here to tell you, you really are screwed. And the last thing I'd like to talk about, please, is Aisha Bibi, a lady, a persecuted Christian in Pakistan. She was alleged to have committed blasphemy. She was kept on death row for 9 years. She was released recently by the Supreme Court. Very brave decision, because now everybody wants to kill the judges that says, no, she didn't commit blasphemy. She asked the UK, she's a mother of 5, she asked the UK if her family could begin a new life in the UK. And what do you think we told her, Alex? As a Christian country, what do you think we told a persecuted Christian? We told her no. You cannot have asylum in the UK because we do not want to upset local communities. We don't want to upset local communities. Can you imagine a situation where a persecuted woman, a Christian, can't... We accept jihadis. We accept half of Africa. We accept anybody...
You accept ISIS and Al-Qaeda if they say they want to come back and be reformed and they're housing than war vets. I mean, that's in the news. So this woman, they're trying to kill her. There's a fatwa out. She's a Christian. She has incredible courage. She's a political prisoner, a political dissident. And she says, please help me, Christendom. And the left says, not just no, hell no, lady.
And the right and the Prime Minister and everybody in my country says no, because we don't want to upset the Muslim communities. And so I say, the next time we have an Islamic terrorist attack in the UK, and the next time our political leadership stands up and says, we carry on as normal, we are not going to be beaten by terrorists, we are not cowed. Remember Asia Bibi, we are cowed. This is the symbol of how my country is cowed, because we will not give refuge to a Christian woman because we don't want to upset the Muslims.
Who they're trying to kill.
Yeah, they will kill her. They will kill her.
And the left, why does the left, it really is spiritual.
But it's the right as well, Alex. It's not just
No, they all want a virtue signal to the precious Muslims and just...
She just said it. Just what I've been saying. The right and the left wants to kill her. And they want to kill you too. Thank you, whoever you are.
Run around behind them and, like, you know, their droppings are like gold. And it's just oh, please, let me give all my rights up to you. Oh, you're so wonderful. Most of you don't work. You wear these big nightgown diapers out in public and I have to kiss your ass.
It's so true. And you know, this to me is the ultimate symbol we're cowed. We just had a European Court of Human Rights ruling that says the right of Muslims not to be offended is greater than the freedom to speak or to speak freely. And this is what we have now.
I tried to warn you. The right and the left is together. Money talks, and you know what walks. And now Antifa wants to be on our side because they're not paying them no more. They shut down their PayPal. Try to warn you. Antifa, you're getting killed and shot for doing your stupid rioting. Not protesting, rioting. Because if you protest, you scream out what's going to happen. But you've been beating the crap out of our own Americans. Being shot and killed. I try to tell you. Now, let's see what happens. I'm telling you, we're winning the war, guys. We are winning the war now. Stoney Stone screwed up. If you just now joined me, that's his preacher, pedophile ring in his own house. Them two selling prostitutes, pedophiles, selling kids. And you're welcome. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm Luke Skywalker, and we're beating the fuck out of Darth Vader.
Now, blasphemy laws in the UK.
And I want to be clear. They're trying to conquer us. I was against the wars in the Middle East, and we took out moderate regimes and put the bad ones in as part of this plan. It's insane.
It is properly insane. And it is properly insane that in the face of not giving a Christian woman, you know, any kind of refuge, having welcomed...
Well, it's in the same realm that now they're saying within 10 years, all women's sports, including basketball, will be ruled by men who literally have not even had their testicles removed and are 2 feet, 3 feet taller than women and look like they could kick Conan the Barbarian's ass.
We truly have reached a new stage of madness. We really have. And the UK is truly fallen. We are beyond South.
Well, you know, already in the Olympics, like 2 or 3 of the top runners that win all the championships are actually hermaphrodites.
Oh, of course.
And of course, nothing against them, they're hermaphrodite, but you know, these guys can have babies. I mean, they can get women pregnant. Oh my gosh. Katie Hopkins, amazing. Hopkins World, ladies and gentlemen, check it out today. HopkinsWorld.com. Mark Dice coming up. Stay with us. You know, Hopkins, people like Ron Paul, people like Paul Joseph Watson, people like Mark Dice, people like Matt Drudge, people like Tucker Carlson, who I talked to quite a bit, and believe it at that. He's so good.
This is the last one. Wanted y'all to hear that. We're not done. We got some breaking news coming in. Breaking news, folks. Did you block me from something? Nope. I didn't block nobody. I shut your stupid mouth down. About it. Aleza Henderson. Is that you? Aleza Henderson. Friends request. I'll get it in a minute. Let me get to finishing the news that we're not done. Where's that at? Okay, here we go, guys. Okay, here we go. May not get to the whole thing, but I want y'all to hear this. Mark Taylor has something to say. Facing a huge problem accompanying with divine judgments. And I tried to tell y'all that. The judge is about to get killed. Start, you might want to know that. Your judge, not ours. Ours is up in heaven. It's coming his way. Coming right now from the south equator.
These are people that are being paid.
That's all I got to say, and there's nothing you can do about it. This thing that's coming from the south equator is stronger than your military.
Energy, the prophecy that I wrote.
You to it, boys.
Well, one of the things is, God's moving America and Israel into energy independence. That's going to be one of the things that you're seeing. And some of that's already taken place. I've had some emails from some people that's actually picked up on some things that I didn't even pick up on, actually. There's some signs out of Israel right now. When Trump went over to Saudi Arabia, because it was called Energy, the prophecy that I wrote, and said that Israel and America would be the #1 energy producers in the world.
What did I tell y'all about this, folks? I tried to tell you this. We're running out of oil and gasoline in Saudi Arabia. The war will end here in the United States because we are running pretty good on oil and gasoline because George W. Bush stole all the gas and oil. Just thought you might want to know that. Okay? Just want you to know that right now. That's why they're coming in on us. That's why they're invading us. Just listen to what Mark Taylor is saying. Even though he's a fraud, he is getting the story straight. Finally.
Well, when Trump went to Saudi Arabia, they had this huge arms deal going on, and nobody could figure out why in the world were they doing this arms deal. Well, because the prophecy speaks about the fact that those who used money, basically the oil money, to support terrorism and attack other countries from within, they would now have to come to the United States and Israel for their energy, and their wells would go dry and their finances too. Well, I did not even know this till someone sent me a video from Fox News saying that Saudi Arabia knows they're in trouble right now because their wells are about to go dry. My mouth hit the floor when I saw that, and that's why they were making...
You're welcome, but he's telling the truth on this. He's finally waking up. A lot of people seen my videos this week. A bunch. And I appreciate the shares, folks. Because if it wasn't for y'all, these people that's got the big mouths probably wouldn't have never known. I got big people behind me now. Stronger than these pedophiles that's trying to shut us down.
The arms deal while they still had the money. Because
because they know that once those wells goes dry, they're in trouble. So you're going to see that probably throughout the Middle East, where a lot of these wells are going to go dry. And so Israel and America will be #1 energy producers in the world. I mean, look, God's given signs after sign after sign. And, you know, the problem is
Caesar, politician, ruler, man.
Is that the body of Christ has lost their discernment, and they can't read the signs of what God is like. You know, they're panicking or they're rioting in the streets. This country's not as divided as the news media would have you believe. These are people that are being paid by George Soros, which is a whole other subject. But the point is that we have good things coming for America. God's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He's exposing stuff. We just need to continue to do our part, which is spiritual warfare, and God will do his. You know, there's 3 ways you take back a country, a state, or a city, Sheila. 3 ways. And it's repentance, repentance, repentance. And when God emphasizes something 3 times, you know it's important. And as long as we stay in a state of repentance and prayer, God will do his part. And that's what people don't understand. All they're seeing are the natural things that are taking place. They don't understand what's going on in the spiritual realm right now. And that is, good things are coming to America. You're seeing it take place. I want to use this analogy. The Lord showed me is the full moon effect. If you ask any cop, any firefighter, any ER doctor about what the full moon does at the end of the month, when the welfare checks come out, you're going to be up all night long. That's just the bottom line on a Friday night. And it's the full moon effect. And that's where we're at right now. And I asked the Lord, I said, you know, Lord, nobody's been able to give me an answer as to what causes humans to act the way they do on a full moon. And finally, the Lord says, Mark, he says, the reason they act that way is because the primary area of operation of the enemy is darkness. And when you introduce the light, it agitates those who are demon-possessed. And that's why you're seeing what's taking place. Well, we have been in darkness in this country for so many years, Sheila. And now the dawn is beginning to break. The light is beginning to be introduced. So we're in this transfer of time, so to speak, where we're having this full moon effect. So the enemy is agitated. It's stirring. So our warfare is working, but it's up to us in order to bring it to completion, if that makes sense.
Breaking news. This is coming out of my advisors. All right. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that China was bringing in a fake moon. Well, I don't know if this is true or not, and everything that I have been saying and what he's been saying, the advisors, has been coming true, but China has just now come to a decision to make a fake sun. Why do you want to? Why? I don't understand. Why do you want to make a fake sun? Oh, that's why. Oh, I forgot. China don't believe in God. Oh, that's right. He likes to eat dogs and people. Oh, I forgot. I mean, damn. Oh, darn. And you talk about China all the time, naysayers. I mean, you always talk bad about China. Maybe you will turn the cheek a little bit the other way, because they're trying to make your sun cover Wormwood so you will not have darkness for 3 days. Yeah. You just heard it from me. They're going to try to put this fake sun behind Wormwood when it closes into the sun. That's their plan. Well, they got 6 years to do it. They've only got 6 years to build it. And it's got to be bigger than the sun. And it's like 90% bigger than Earth. So you remember that, folks. You heard what I just said. China's a dumbass.
Yeah, absolutely. God really does need his remnant to get it together. A mighty warring army. I mean, Michael Lake said something years ago, and I never forgot this. He said, God's looking for an A team, and boy, he's got a D team at best. And we should be the ultimate Dev Gru Heaven team, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Like, really getting in there, storming the enemy.
taking ground, holding ground. I feel like a lot of God's people, they're just so distracted with all this. It's a spirit of distraction, and we need to be focusing on tactical warfare, but instead people are just so distracted, Mark.
Well, it's because they're paying attention to what's going on in the natural. They're listening to the news media. They're tapped into Satan's frequency, and what you have to understand is, and this is one of the signs the Lord gave me, that how you know your DNA's been handed over to the enemy. And this is the scary part, Sheila, is that most of the church, their DNA's been handed over to the enemy because they're being controlled by the kingdom of darkness and they don't even realize it. Is that one of the signs is that when you try to give someone good news and they can't receive it, that's how you know it's been turned over. Because I've been blacklisted from shows. Me and Mary Colbert both have because of the book. We've been blacklisted from some shows. And I've been on some stuff where I've talked to people who are doom and gloom and the other, and you give them this good news that God has given mercy to the United States and good things are coming, they can't receive it.
No.
It's like they want to see it burn. And it's like, who on earth would really truly want to see their country burn? I mean, seriously, that is a sign how the enemy has control of your DNA right there.
Yeah.
And who is wanting California to burn? Your presidents. George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Obama, and Trump are all involved on burning California to hell. I want you to know that right now, folks. I want you to know that. CNN wants you to burn in hell. Fox wants you to burn in hell. NBC wants you to burn in hell. CBS, HLN, PBS, all want you dead. And I tried to warn you, California. I've been trying to warn you. What did I tell you this week on my Facebook, folks? Solar flares are heading toward California. And they're saying it's going to be a bigger earthquake than ever. Even Dutch Sense is reporting it now. I was the first one to report it. Now he's doing it. If he's doing it and I'm doing it, it don't look good for you, California. Have a nice day. Hope you enjoyed the show. I worked my rear end off for y'all today. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America. I'm not stopping, guys. Stony Stone. We're here. Run.